fans of Memorial Day on the James Show, primarily because we are big fans of America, the greatest country the world has ever known, bar none. It's not even close. So don't even try and come up with the argument if you don't mind. The question, I think, it matters every year on Memorial Day, this year included. This day is all about the people who made the ultimate sacrifice. We all get that, right? Well, I think the next thing you should ask yourself, is this country still worth that? Is this country still live up to asking someone that it's worth laying their life down for? I think it's an overwhelmingly resounding yes. But I wonder what would a Bernie Sanders or AOC say? You know, all these people that think that capitalism is evil and this place is racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe, and just god awful. I wonder if those people think this country's worth dying for. I wonder if they think this country's worth volunteering years of your life to go stand on a post in camo holding a gun, not knowing if you'll ever come home. Now, this is a no-brainer for me because, and I assume you agree with me. Maybe you don't. But isn't it kind of obvious this is the best country in the history of ever? Isn't it kind of obvious that this is, for the average person in our society, they have a better standard of living? They have a standard of living anyone would have dreamed about for all of human history up until about 50 years ago. You have a better lifestyle than kings had. You understand that? And I don't mean every single king that's ever lived, but all of them up until about 150 years ago. You have a better standard. You realize, like, the age of kings kind of dropped off around World War I. You realize most kings didn't even have air conditioning. You understand that? You realize most kings didn't have a car. And I know it's not that big of a deal for you because you've always had a car. But if you want to go somewhere, you got to be drug around by some horse. And maybe for the last twilight few years of the monarchy, maybe you were lucky if someone could get you on a train. But for almost all of it, you had to be drug around by some animal. But no, best country ever, absolutely worth the sacrifice. And we will be talking more about that later in the show. I feel like I need to get you all caught up on the news of the day. Even though this is Memorial Day, there's still some things that are going on. Or really, I guess you could really frame it as there's some things that are not going on. We were kind of expecting an Iran deal to happen over the weekend. And look, the talk was sounding a little different than the previous hypes on it. Here is Alex Hogan from Fox News' Saturday morning coverage. Okay, so that was Saturday. Tomorrow was yesterday. There's no deal. And it's kind of good to know that there's no strikes either. But this is not the progress we were hoping for. We hope to be further along than this by this point on Monday. And I really thought that something was going to happen. I know this probably doesn't sound like a big deal in the books of history, but Donald Trump was supposed to go to Donald Trump Jr.'s wedding, and he missed it this weekend. It was in the Bahamas, I believe. And so I figured that was the excuse. Well, he must be doing something this weekend, and it must be the Iran thing. And then the news got all thrown aside for the next White House shooting. I mean, what are we, like a month away from the White House Correspondents Center, the last shooting involving the Secret Service and an attempt? You know, I don't want to go so far as to call this an attempt on Trump's life. It really looks like a guy who was insane and thought he was Jesus and has had multiple run-ins with the law, has already been committed for mental health issues and whatnot. But it does make some funny memes out of this Selena Wang. She was reporting for ABC doing a stand-up on the White House lawn. And so you can hear the gunshots in this audio I'm about to play, but from where we know where the shooting happened and where she was standing, it was really loud where she was. So it's kind of odd that it took her this long to do the old duck and cover. Okay, the memes come from that. In there, you lightly hear her say, "What is going on?" Well, it's gunshots, genius. They're shooting. Someone's getting shot right now. That's gunfire. It's not black cats. I know it's Memorial Day weekend, but no one's popping off artillery shells. That's gunfire, Becky. I mean, her name's Selena. Just Becky's sounded more appropriate. So Trump still sounds like a deal's imminent. Trump still sounded like, well, we're 95% there. Well, are you there on the uranium? Because the rest of that seems fungible. But if you're not getting the dust, you're not going to be happy. If you have to give up the dust, Iran's not going to be happy. So I don't know how you end this. What can you give them to make them give up the dust? I don't know. I don't know if you can. And if you can't, then that means they're just stringing you along while they're rebuilding and refortifying, or I don't know, probably digging out some new hamster tunnels up in the mountains or whatnot. But that's where we're at today. Another attempt on Donald Trump's life over the weekend. Another false start, or I guess false stop on the Iran war over the weekend. And really, after that, you're kind of caught up. There's been a lot of fuss about teen takeovers. We'll address that later in the show. But coming up next, I want to talk more Memorial Day stuff here. There's a pretty touching subject segment on Face the Nation yesterday where 2 Medal of Honor winners were asked if they're still optimistic about the future of America. I'll play their answer, and then I'll tell you why I'm definitely optimistic about the future of America. 800-288-9227. I'm James Parker. You're listening to The James Show on Newstalk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP.
Here's what we're talking about.
You're down.
And knocking down reports out there that Iran's supreme leader is demanding that the enriched uranium in that country stay in that country as part of any sort of a nuclear agreement.
We want it open. We want it free. We don't want tolls. It's international.
Stay connected for updates all day.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hi, Brad Barton for Clarity Windows and Doors. Let me tell you how well Clarity Windows handle the heat of a Texas summer. When we built our home, we had one west-facing window in the dining room, and every time we had a family gathering, that window just poured in nothing but heat. But after Clarity installed their window, I checked it with a laser thermometer. Of course I have one. Outside pane was 110, inside pane was just 80. 30 degrees cooler out of one window. That's a game changer. Now, here's the deal. 3 discounts combined. Buy the first window at Clarity's already low price, a lot less than some national brands, and the next window is going to be 40% off. Every other window, 40% off. All Clarity's entry and patio doors. We have a couple of fiberglass French doors, solved a ton of problems. They're all 20% off, and you can save up to $500 on installation. Look, you know summer won't wait, so contact Clarity Windows today at 972-393-3991 or visit their website, ClarityWindows.com. Everything's better with Clarity Windows and Doors.
Bring clarity to your home. Clarity Windows and Doors.
Hey, this is Brad Barton. When you sell your home, you need more than promises. You need a team with the process, marketing, and experience to help you make the right move. That's why I recommend Dan Harker and Empower Home Team with Keller Williams. Their strategy is built to create buyer demand, attract multiple offers, and give sellers the confidence to choose the offer that works best for them. The recent client, Brenda, said the team made a sale of her home smooth from start to finish. The professional photos and marketing were outstanding. Communication was clear. And when multiple offers came in, the team laid out every detail so Brenda and her husband could make the best decision. And Brenda spent nearly 10 years in real estate herself, so her expectations were high. She said that Empower Home Team exceeded them all. So when you know the plan, understand your options, and have the right team guiding you, selling feels very different. Sell with certainty. Your home sold, guaranteed. The winning strategy to sell your home. Call now at 844-672-SOLD. That's 844-672-SOLD or visit HarkerHasTheBuyers.com. That's HarkerHasTheBuyers.com.
On Truth for Life Weekend, Alistair Begg explains.
So the message of the gospel is not, why don't you turn over a new leaf and why don't you get a little purpose in your life and why don't you shake your leg? And
Raven's good to go.
the gospel is you're a dead man, and furthermore, you can't make yourself alive. The message of the gospel is you're a blind woman and you can't make yourself see. And that ought to alarm you.
Hear more on Truth for Life Weekend with Alistair Begg.
Sunday mornings at 5:30 on 820 and 93.3 WBAP.
When plumbing problems strike, call the name you can trust. Woody Woods Plumbing. From leaks to full repairs, Woody Woods Plumbing gets the job done right the first time. No shortcuts, no surprise, because with Woody Woods Plumbing, you get Get it fixed for good with Woody Woods. Call Woody Woods Plumbing today.
Call 817-923-5248 or go to woodywoods.com. Woody with an IE, woods.com. Licensed and background check.
Southbound I-35W just after Western Center Boulevard in Fort Worth. There's an accident. Now, this is partially blocking the on-ramp. The traffic in the main lanes is backed up to 287, the Decatur cutoff. It's about a 10 to 15-minute delay. In North Dallas, westbound 635 at Hillcrest, an accident taking away the two left lanes, also partially blocking the entrance ramp to the Techspress lanes. Traffic is stop and go from Coit Road. That'll cost you about 10 minutes. Downtown, northbound I-35E at the ramp to eastbound I-30. Construction in the left lane, just the right lane is getting by. And in Mesquite, eastbound Highway 80 before Galloway Avenue, crews are working in the right lane. A couple of minutes back up to 635. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Dave Allen.
Brought to you by Retire Simply Radio.
How do you retire simply? Listen to financial advisors The Winsteads, Saturdays 11 a.m. on WBAP 820 a.m. and 93.3 FM. Scott and Angela Winstead will help you retire simply. Listen in Saturdays 11 a.m. on WBAP.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green. Don't waste another weekend.
Did you hear me say Raven's good to go?
Partner with the official lawn care treatment.
Yeah, Raven's ready to go on air. Raven Harrison.
Good deal.
Lawn, the
I'll take
easy
it.
way. Sign up at truegreen.com. Then sit back and relax.
News and
I'll take
talk
it.
are in our name.
Keep connected, DFW.
Your Texas voice for common sense.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Drop.
Happy Memorial Day, fellow Texans. I'm James Parker. This is The James Show, News Talk 820, 93.3 FM. Your host for Mark Lee Van Camp and Robbins. My next guest, Raven Harrison, coming back on The James Show. And big fan of America, so Memorial Day, probably a happy day for you. I was just thinking about some of our neighbors here in America on Team Blue, the people that hate this country, thinks it's racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe. What do they think about Memorial Day? Did they think about all these people just wasted their lives defending the biggest Nazi country in the world?
I would think it's partly that, but I think, James, what it is they just have the luxury of being able to walk around enjoying the freedom that they had no hand in securing, that people have come from other countries. There's even one out in San Diego. I think she's an elected official who refuses to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Again, it is amazing. America is the best country in the world, and you can tell because the people who hate it won't leave. They won't leave.
Yeah, in fact, they're coming here in droves. They're breaking laws and marrying their brother to get them over here.
Correct. And they are all being here. Nobody's trying to break into North Korea. Nobody's trying to break into Iran. All these places. But again, you know, what was that movie with Jack Nicholson where he's just like, how dare you live under the freedom I provide and then question the manner we provide it? And that's what I think where we are right now is we just have way too many people. We've gotten away from our core values, and we have way too many people in this country who don't understand that somebody is not watching their kids grow up today. Somebody is not seeing their daughter get married. Somebody is not barbecuing today because they thought that your freedom was worth more than their own life.
Yeah, so that would be the movie A Few Good Men, and also You Can't
That was
Handle the
it.
Truth. Yeah. Well, let's go through some of the headlines here. Raven, first off, the situation going on with the Iran war. We thought there was going to be a deal. Now we thought there wasn't. Now he swears there's going to be a deal. And I think he really wants to wrap this up. And it's really just all about the uranium, I guess.
It is. And it's important to remind people that the president is briefed on a lot of things that we don't get to see. You know, we don't have that in the commonplace media. He has intel briefings. He has advisors. There's things that he's privy to that we're not. So I always try to be quick to rush to a judgment when all of a sudden, you know, the news was reporting, you know, we're going to war imminently. Just remember that they don't sell as much when there's not a panic situation. So I think that the president is working it out as he has shown that he will, but Iran is just a difficult one, but he's going to see it through. I think that it's proceeding as it is. He's prioritized. I don't remember seeing Biden come home from the beach for one of his naps, you know, to come deal with a situation or missing his son's wedding to attend, you know, a security briefing. So that's a bravo testament to our president and his priorities for the American people.
Raven, I got to push back there. Actually, President Biden has worked so hard when he was president of the United States. He never even had time to meet his own granddaughter. That's how serious he took the job.
He was president?
No, you remember
So,
Hunter, the baby
sorry, I
that
couldn't resist.
yeah. Okay, good stuff. So yeah, the baby, for those of you who didn't get it, the baby that Hunter had with the stripper in Arkansas
Correct.
still has never met her grandfather.
We're going to consider that little girl lucky.
I know, what a gift. So we're talking with Raven Harrison, conservative activist. Let's talk about, we had to bring you on Saturday. Thanks for coming on such short notice to cover the breaking
Of
news
course.
of the shooting at the White House. What do we know about this guy, Nasir Best?
Yes, it depends on which station. Again, if you're watching CNN, he's dark white, and he
Did you make that up? Please tell me someone said dark
closet-
white. Did someone say really?
No. I'll have to send that. I need to text that to you, James. I have 2 or 3 incidences of CNN referring to somebody who is ethnic as dark white.
Oh my
or
God.
white.
I missed that.
So it is an intentional to because it goes off the propaganda narrative, but we know that absolutely deranged. We know he was killed by the return fire, and again that he got off multiple shots, but he never breached the perimeter. He's just outside, and I truly believe that all the information shows, James, that he is a product of this rhetoric that the Democrats have been putting out. This is the same one that got Charlie Kirk killed, and you see AOC behind bulletproof glass because of a situation that they caused. Is unreal.
I'm still stuck on dark white because I feel like if I get a hold of that, that's going to be on my little soundboard. Because you know how you hear me playing like little sound effects.
I have it as my wallpaper for a while, but yes, I will send it to you, and of them saying, and they've done this on more than one occasion, of just trying to instantly gaslight the American people so that we don't see what it is, which is you can't open our border up to a third world dump holes and expect us not to turn into that.
Did you invent another word, dump hole? So yeah, my show is kind of, I could do half my show in just memes if I wanted to, because I've got like the old I got Dr. Evil. How about no? That comes up a lot. I do the one from Friday.
How about no? Yes.
Yeah, and then Ari Gold from Entourage.
Get the out.
Happens a lot with our immigration conversations. So that's where we're at with that. My next topic here, we're talking with Raven Harrison, conservative commentator. It seems like there's been some people who want to address the teen takeover. This is the hot new thing where it's a bunch of people who may or may not be teenagers, but this has gone into sort of a racial conversation, according to one of the candidates for governor of where you're at, Florida. Did you hear Fishback
Yes.
talking about this?
Yes, I did.
All right. So Fishback, one of the guys running for governor, says that this isn't a problem with teens. This is a problem with a subculture within the Black community, and he's going to start charging these kids as adults. And if they're not old enough to be charged as an adult, the parents will get charged. Your response, Raven?
Well, I agree with some of that, and I don't feel like this is strictly a thing with the Black community. I think it's a teen thing, it's a cultural thing, it's a generation thing. But again, we're seeing a slip in parentage across the board of entitled, useless people. I mean, I just saw something of a kid, an activist, who glued his hand to the sidewalk. And I'm from the generation, if you would have been there until you had figured out a way to get yourself unglued, we would have left you there. But this really does come down to 2 things. It's the same problem we have across the board with our country right now, which is zero accountability. It is really hard for teens to take over when they're in jail for committing other crimes. It would be, if parents were going to jail, I can guarantee you, that their kids would not be out doing these kind of things if the parents knew they were going to jail behind it. So we've got to have, make parenting, and I can't cuss on the show, but make whoopings great again. We have got to get these kids back in line. And if the parents can't control them, what do we expect the police or the government to do?
All right, Raven, how do the people listening find you online?
They can find me on any social media and RavenHarrisonForCongress.com.
There you go. Thank you, Raven. All right, let me play
Thanks, James.
Let me play that audio from Fishback. This is a guy that's running for governor in Florida right now, and this is going to set up our next topic here. I want your response to this. Do we charge these kids with rioting? Do we charge their parents? Is it wrong to charge a parent? I mean, who can control what their 15-year-old does at 3 a.m? So respond to this. We'll get the response. And the other two things are they're going to use facial recognition software to go recognize anyone from the surveillance footage. And since the statute of limitation is 3 years, even after he's in office, he can go back for the riots that have happened before he was governor and go charge people that even just did the big teen takeover in Tampa on Friday. All right, you'll hear my reaction to the teen takeover pushback next. I'm James Parker, 800-288-9227. This is The James Show on News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM, WBAP.
Is your financial advisor
You're down.
desk or just a spreadsheet? Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. Many financial advisors rely on target date funds, which are one-size-fits-all portfolios that don't know your name, your family, or your goals. And that passive management can leave you dangerously exposed. At Trajan, we look at the whole picture, not just the stocks everyone else buys, but the private market opportunities most advisors ignore. And as fiduciaries, we build a strategy around you, coordinating your investments, tax strategy, and estate into one cohesive plan. Your financial life deserves more than just a generic portfolio. Real planning isn't a stack of statements. It's the confidence of knowing where your income will come from for the next 30 years. Good enough isn't good enough for your family. It's time for a change. Schedule your complimentary consultation today. Call 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Private equity investments require accreditation. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
People have been hearing ads for the Good Contractors List for over a decade, and it surprises me when people still don't know who we really are. Homeowners think that we must be something like Angie's List, and contractors still think we're somewhere they can spend money to get leads. But the Good Contractors List is something much different. The Good Contractors List is the first ever contractor resource that has effectively separated the good contractors from the bad. We've built a safe contractor community, a community of contractors from every field of home service that share the same values, standards, and desire to do the right thing. The whole community is governed by a third party who is willing to risk $25,000 on every job they do. That's not a marketing strategy, that's responsibility in community form. If you want to join a community where homeowners are protected and good contractors are elevated, then go to thegoodcontractorslist.com today. That's thegoodcontractorslist.com.
If the job's not right, we'll get it fixed. Only at the Good Contractors List.
Marshall Dow here with Silver Creek Materials. While staying family owned, we've been the most trusted source in North Texas for quality construction and landscaping materials for over 40 years. No job is too small for Silver Creek. Visit silvercreekmaterials.com for premium engineered soils, mulches, sands, and aggregates. From the largest construction projects to commercial landscaping, we deliver the dependable materials your job demands. Silver Creek Materials, quality soils, sustainable solutions, built for Texas. Again, that's silvercreekmaterials.com.
At Genesis of Plano, part of the Huff Hines Auto family, we're committed to doing things the right way. With clear, upfront pricing, no unwanted dealer addendums, and over 100 years serving North Texas. Our vehicles are engineered to inspire exploration, pushing the boundaries of what luxury can be. And our dealership delivers an experience defined by comfort, intention, and elevated detail. Visit Genesis of Plano today and discover a higher standard of luxury totally on your terms.
Thanks to the Good Feet store. Visit the Good Feet store today. Walk-ins are always welcome. Stop by one of our 8 DFW locations, and we are now open in Waxahachie.
Our week starts at First Baptist Dallas, and what happens there shapes everything else we do. This church is built on the Bible, and so are we. After incredible worship and faithful teaching from Dr. Jeffress each Sunday, we go out to lead and love our family, do our work with integrity, and be part of our community. Because our faith isn't just something we do on Sundays. It's something we live every day.
More local news, more local weather, more local traffic, more local everything. It's how North Texas starts its day. Good day starting at 4 a.m. Fox 4, where the locals go. TFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station.
Your Texas voice for common sense.
News Talk 820, WBAP.
And now, new on FM at 93.3. Trending now.
The U.S. appears close to a peace deal with Iran. I'm Mike Traina from the 24-hour Breaking News Center.
ClassicChevrolet.com, WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
An accident working in North Fort Worth, southbound I-35W, just after Western Center Boulevard. This is partially blocking the on-ramp. Traffic in the main lanes is backed up to 287, the Decatur cutoff, about a 10 to 15-minute delay. Eastbound North Loop 820 at Beach Street, you've got a wreck blocking both of the main lanes. Traffic is squeezing by on the right shoulder, about a 5-minute delay from Riverside Drive. In Arlington, eastbound I-20, just before New York Avenue, there's a wreck. This is in the 2 right lanes. Stop-and-go traffic from Matlock. And in North Dallas, westbound 635 at Hillcrest, an accident. 2 left lanes are blocked, also partially blocking the on-ramp to the Texpress lanes. You're jammed back to the High 5. That's a 20-minute delay. With WBAP First Traffic and Weather on the Ones, I'm Dave Allen.
Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine, #1 Chevy dealership in the world. 3 years straight. More new Chevrolets to choose from than anyone. All priced to sell at ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023 through 2025.
Your forecast from the WBAP On-Time Experts 24/7 Weather Center. Today, partly cloudy with isolated showers and thunderstorms, high near 86. Tonight, mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming clear with a low in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high in the upper 80s. It's 85 degrees in Dallas and 85 in Fort Worth. U.S. and Iranian officials providing an update on peace talks between the two countries, as President Trump says they might be close to a deal. Ashley Webster has more from Tel Aviv.
Tehran painting a much murkier picture, including the country's foreign ministry that says the only focus for them right now is ending the conflict. President Trump, meantime, says negotiations are progressing nicely, but says there is no need to rush.
Sources say a potential deal between the U.S. and Iran would involve the gradual reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Texas Instruments stock hit an all-time high.
On Friday, Texas Instruments saw its stock reach a record high of $315.57, up 5.8% from the previous day. Texas Instruments is investing in new production facilities and recently announced a $60 billion investment in semiconductor production. Sean Allen, WBAP News.
Your money news brought to you by NetWorthRadio.com. Walmart has embraced the trend by introducing a new line of great value sodas made with cane sugar. Walmart's new sodas are available in apple, grapefruit, lemon lime, and cola. Wall Street, of course, closed today due to Memorial Day. I'm Mike Traina. Keep connected DFW for the latest on the war in Iran. For updates anytime, go to WBAP.com or our free mobile app and start your weekday with WBAP's morning news, traffic, weather, and some laughs. Weekdays 5 till 9 on News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM, WBAP.
Brought to you by Men's Edge Medical. Are you a man who's been experiencing a loss of sex drive and symptoms of depression? You're not alone. At Men's Edge Medical, they offer real results tailored to fit your specific needs. Call Men's Edge Medical today, 972-996-0900, or go to mensedgemedical.com.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green. Don't waste another weekend doing your lawn care yourself. Partner with the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour and get a golf course quality lawn the easy way. Sign up at truegreen.com. Then sit back and relax.
DFW's most listened to news, traffic, and weather station. Stay connected, DFW.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
You're up.
Hey there, happy Memorial Day. Welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. I am your host, James Parker. We'll get to our Memorial Day salute at 3:05 after the 3 o'clock news update. I have a lot of Memorial Day topics to address. And typically I've noticed a lot of organizations, states, and stadiums, events that are going on today. A lot of them stop and take a moment of silence at 3 o'clock, whatever your local time is. This isn't like 3 o'clock Eastern. And so kind of lining up with that tradition. Is that official? I know it's not a law, but is that a rule? Because I just see a lot of people doing it today at 3 o'clock. But if you have any input on that, the questions I'm asking are, is America still worth the ultimate sacrifice? Like, I have a son who's 15 now. 3 years he wanted to go sign up for the military. Would I be okay with that? Absolutely. I think absolutely this country's worth the ultimate sacrifice. I'll explain coming up at 3:05. But if you have your input on that as well, you can send me an email, james@wbap.com. But what most of the cool kids do is send me Facebook messages these days. So I just wanted to sort of front load that. Currently, I wanted to talk about this pushback because we had another team takeover in Tampa on Friday. And if you're not familiar with what the team takeovers are, it's the new term that we use for flash mobs. Now, flash mobs started out like sort of in the infancy of social media when we figured out how we could quickly organize a bunch of people with like-minded, very specific niche interests. And then sometimes you'd have 20, 30 random people show up and they would start dancing around the fountain at the local mall. They're like, yeah, someone brought a boombox and we're all going to do the Thriller dance. Or they're going to do the Macarena at the train station at 4 o'clock on Saturday. Well, that sort of morphed into, hey, if we can gather a mob anytime we want and kind of grease the skids on organizing all this with these new social media tools, we can do this for nefarious purposes too. And so now it's kind of morphed into what's now called a team takeover. But you and I both know that that's just a rhetorical flourish for, and it's not young black kids. It's not all black kids but there is a subset within that culture that is doing this to a greater degree than other ones. You haven't seen a whole lot of flash mobs that are a bunch of Asian kids, have you? You seen a bunch of just Asian kids show up and start ransacking a gas station, going through a Target? You see a bunch of cowboy kids, cowboy hats and their boots, and they got pearl snap shirts. They're just going through a Target, grabbing all the Funyuns. No. So we can be grown up, and we can, without being insensitive, we can talk about a real serious issue. What's going on with this? Why do we use the flowery language around it? We know why, because people don't want to be perceived as racist, because it's a very ugly thing, and rightfully so. But when the guy that's running to take Governor DeSantis' seat in Florida says he's going to be charging the kids with rioting, and if they're too young to be charged as an adult, he's charging their parents, I love that. I also like the fact that he's saying the ugly, abrasive, but true thing about the racial component in this. And that just helps us get to the bottom of it. Because the one thing I wish he would add in there that he didn't is, some of these kids were teenagers. Some of them were not teenagers. Some of them were black, and I'm sure some of them weren't black. But we never really get into how many of them have fathers. How many of them actually come from a broken home versus have their biological father in their house right now? How many of them were at church on Sunday? Okay, so that's the unpopular part. That's the part A lot of people are scared to say. And look, I have misgivings saying that too, because it's definitely not all black people. We have Lawrence in Fort Worth that called in this morning when I was filling in for Matt Locke. His kids didn't participate in this. Lawrence didn't participate in stuff like this when he was growing up. Alan West and his kids don't participate in stuff like this. So it's definitely not all black people. It's not even a majority of black people, but there is a subset within that community that's doing this. And so I think, number one, admit the problem first. Don't call it a team takeover. Team takeover almost makes it sound fun. It's like, hey, we're having team night at the club. We're not going to have alcoholic drinks, but we'll have extra security and your kid can go dance in a safe environment. That's not what's going on here. Destruction's going on. People are getting hurt. Property is being destroyed. There's a lot of theft, a little bit of violence thrown in there. So it's not a teen takeover because it's not a takeover and it's not all teens. Aaron Magruder is the guy who gave you Boondocks. It was a hilarious comic for years. And then he got a cartoon. And I think this is on Cartoon Network. Not really sure, but he got a lot of people's attention because he did an episode where Martin Luther King was brought back from the dead, and Martin Luther King was disappointed in this exact ghetto culture subset within the black community. And so he went on the kind of a media tour after this episode came out. And then there was a clip that he did. Now, this is from 2002, and I thought this was a little premature, but it might make more sense now. Now that I think about it, Aaron Magruder, the guy who wrote the script that you just heard, was given a commencement speech about this time of year at a historically black college, and he was saying timers running out. Now, I think this is a little harsh, but generally speaking, he's looking in the right direction. So, I mean, time's running out. That's a little harsh, Aaron Magruder. I think most of us understand that what we see on TV is not the totality of the black experience because I come from a very diverse part of Texas. And look, I realized that, of course, they're not all like that. My first teacher, Miss Hughes, when I was kindergarten, black woman, she wasn't like that. She wasn't part of that ghetto culture. She spoke properly and didn't do teen takeovers. No, she was great. The guy who taught me driver's ed, Coach Williams, knew him. He was friends with my grandmother. In fact, my grandmother worked at the same school, and when she got cancer, he came to visit her at the house. You think I hate him? You think I could possibly hate all blacks if that guy was in my life? And I know if you go to Arlington Cemetery, a lot of those bodies are from our black neighbors that gave the ultimate sacrifice. So don't worry. I mean, we're not about to race riot over here. I like the idea that time is running out and, you should encourage your own community to improve its behavior at the bottom level there. But I think that behavior is coming right around the corner. I think Aaron Magruder was just a little bit ahead of his time. And that last soundbite might apply better to 2026 than when he said it in 2002. 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. More about the greatness of this country on Memorial Day coming up on the James Show. It's News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP.
Dallas Express.
You're down.
Exclusive local, state, and national stories. DallasExpress.com, an independent new media outlet that embraces free speech. Truth is their guiding principle, accurate, fair, and not out of context. DallasExpress.com, now partnering with News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP. Look for our Listen Live buttons on DallasExpress.com and their free mobile app.
This is Dallas Express CEO Chris Putnam. Had enough of the far left, deep blue state-owned Dallas Morning News and Star Telegram? Subscribe to the 100% Texas-owned and operated Dallas Express News for free today at DallasExpress.com. News by Texans for Texans. Those other guys, get a rope.
Most home sellers get one offer, and it's never enough. Well, Orchard changes that. Monty Cook here. With Orchard offers, you don't get one offer, you get multiple cash offers from serious investors, all competing for your home. Here's how it works. An Orchard agent submits your home to their exclusive network of local cash buyers. They compete to buy your home, and you choose the winner. No repairs, no showings, no settling. Get started with a free home valuation at orchard.com. That's orchard.com.
Cracked and broken bricks don't just look bad. They can let in all kinds of bugs and things you don't want. Call Lone Star Masonry Repair and let them fix the cracks and match the mortar so well you won't even know they were there. Go to LoneStarMasonryRepair.com.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. Stop paying the big guys twice what you need to. Dial pound 250, say my name. That's pound 250 micro to switch to Pure Talk, where the savings are truly unlimited.
Hi, it's Pete Thompson from the Consumer Team. Avoid the mistakes that can derail your retirement. Get the complimentary Retirement Readiness Kit at DFWRetirementPlanners.com. The kit is full of resources that will help you make smart decisions regarding Social Security, Medicare, long-term care, and avoiding 401k rollover penalties. The kit is complimentary. Just go to DFWRetirementPlanners.com, DFWRetirementPlanners.com, and join us for DFW Retirement Radio, Saturday 2 to 3 p.m., right here on WBAP.
Here's Jim Dutton, host of Texas Home Improvement and owner of Due West Foundation Repair.
You know, in 1978, when Due West Foundation Repair started, nobody had ever heard of a pressed pile. Due West revolutionized the industry with the pressed piling and taught a lot of other companies how to do it. But truly, if you want the job done right, you're still going to call Due West Foundation Repair because they set the standard. Everybody else compares themselves to Due West. So when you want the best, call Due West, 972-406-0912.
In Fort Worth, eastbound North Loop 820 now closed at Beach Street due to an accident. Traffic is stacking up right around I-35W. That's going to be about a 10 to 15 minute delay. Still finding slow traffic heading southbound on 35W from 287, the Decatur cutoff, over to Western Center Boulevard due to an earlier wreck. Accident in Arlington, eastbound I-20 just before New York Avenue. This is in the two right lanes. Seeing about a 10-minute delay from Matlock. In Dallas on eastbound I-30, traffic is slowing as you move from right around Riverfront Boulevard over to 2nd Avenue. This is due to an earlier wreck, and that accident on the north side on westbound 635 at Hillcrest has been cleared. Still about a 5 to 10 minute delay from the high 5. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Dave Allen.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Happy Memorial Day, James Parker. This is the James Show. News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. Hey, what are you at work too? At least I'm not the only sucker who had to work today. Thank you very much for hanging out. If this isn't your normal schedule, if you're normally working at this time, I'm sorry I miss you every day. I'm sorry my show is inconvenient for your schedule. If you could just quit your job and get one that's more amenable to my schedule, that'd be preferred. But if you can't do that, then check out the podcast whenever you get a chance. I take most of the shows, not always, but most of the shows, and I'll chop them up and I'll put them in podcast form so you can listen to it whenever you want. Start, stop, pause, skip all the commercials, news, traffic, weather. It's great. You'll love it. The James Show podcast. But on Memorial Day, this is a good day to remember that out of Team Red and Team Blue, one of us loves this country and one of us doesn't. Now, the other side of the country will say that they love this country, especially when they're trying not to sound like bad guys. But let's go back to November here. Jon Stewart was saying the U.S. doesn't own patriotism. I mean, the right doesn't own patriotism in the U.S. I think we do, and I think this is a good day to recognize it. And remember this statement here when we get into July 4th, the 250th birthday of America, when you and I and everyone on Team Red is going to be high-fiving and celebrating the greatest country that ever lived. And there's going to be about half of this country that's butthurt thinking, well, this country sucks. All right, here's Jon Stewart in November. Oh, stop it. Stop it. Yeah, well, you voted against one of my spending bills to create a government program, so I know you're not as patriotic as me. No, I think my fealty to the Constitution and the Founding Fathers and the fact that I fly this flag and I'm not embarrassed of it, the fact that I don't accuse half of this country of being racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe, I think that has a lot to. I mean, how can you love this country if you think half of it's racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe? Check this out. Here's another one. This was from 2 years ago around Memorial Day. And then there's other people saying the American flag. It scares me. I'm scared. Settler, colonial, piece of blank, and a colonizer. That's what you're called if you move into someone else's homeland and then you don't assimilate to the native culture and you bring your own religion and culture and language and values and dress and mores and food, and then you set up little pockets of your previous culture in the homeland of the indigenous native culture, and then you eventually grow it and grow it and grow it until you outnumber the natives, and then it's yours. See, that's what colonialism is, and that's what's happening to us now. But it's bad when we do it. It's good when it's happening to us. Are the Frisco Indians not settler colonial pieces of S? Wait, what was the rest of that great description she gave us in our founding fathers? colonizer. Yeah. So yeah, what's the epic city? What's Sharia cities if not a colony? What are the people who put that up if not colonizers? Yeah, we know what's going on. 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. Coming up next, my tribute to America on this Memorial Day 2026. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP.
You're down.
The moments in your life are too important to miss. You can trust O'Reilly Auto Parts to keep you and your plans on the road. Our professional parts people can test your vehicle's battery and even give it a charge if needed. In most cases, we can install your new battery for free. It's just one of the many services we provide at O'Reilly Auto Parts to ensure life's best moments don't find you stranded.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She could get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
I'm the founder of the McClure Capital Companies, Victor McClure. Guiding people to and through retirement for almost 40 years has taught me one valuable lesson. When it comes to retirement, cash flow is king. If you have plenty of cash flow in retirement, you're happy. If you don't, you're not. It doesn't matter how much money you've saved. In other words, if your bills are $10,000 a month and you got $15,000 a month coming in every month like clockwork, you're happy. Hopefully you've made more than you spend in your working years. You're able to pay the bills, get the kids through college, go on vacation, save for retirement. If you can get similar cash flow in retirement as when you were working, wouldn't that be great? In other words, the day you retire, you get the same income, but you don't have to leave the house. That's called a perfect retirement. Right now, you can get 10 to 15% guaranteed income. Age and how long you can the income. That allows you to definitely secure the perfect retirement. Call us at 972-960-8700 or go to ilovemyretirement.com. We'll run the number for you to see if you can achieve the perfect retirement. 972-960-8700 or ilovemyretirement.com.
I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. Question: you wouldn't drive your car 100,000 miles without an oil change, right? Well, my teenager would, but in North Texas, your AC system runs over 2,000 hours a year. And just like your car, all those moving parts need regular maintenance. You see, here's what most homeowners don't realize. Breakdowns don't just happen. They start as small issues, like a clogged drain line that should have been caught weeks earlier with a simple tune-up. Because small problems can turn into expensive repairs. So for a limited time, Reliant Air Conditioning will tune up your AC system for just $85. But here's the best part. When you join our Hero Club maintenance program, your AC tune-up is absolutely free, and you'll stay protected year-round. So call us at 877-YOUR-HERO or schedule your AC tune-up online at ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years, and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together and fit like a jigsaw puzzle. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription, and I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really works so good. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
Best Buy Windows and Siding.
Thanks, Dax. Maybe leave the singing to the pros.
Hey, I can't help it. I love these windows.
Well, it's easy to sing about savings. Get 10 double-pane single-hung windows for just $59.50.
And 0 down and 0% financing with approved credit.
Exactly.
So call Best Buy Windows and Siding today at 469 Windows. That's Best Buy Windows and Siding.
Close enough, buddy.
Best Buy Windows and Siding.
Hi there, it's Pete Thompson from the Consumer Team. You know I'm picky, right? Well, I was blown away by the job that the On Time experts did for my spring air conditioning tune-up. For $59, they completely took apart, thoroughly cleaned, and reassembled my AC unit. And they guarantee I won't have a breakdown this summer. No sales guys just looking for problems or trying to upsell me. They really earn my trust. Call today and ask for the $59 spring tune-up. TheOnTimeExperts.com. TheOnTimeExperts.com.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas, Fort Worth. And KPLX HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Your Texas voice for common sense. Trending now.
Oil prices drop as a peace deal is close between Iran and the U.S. I'm Mike Trena from the 24-hour Breaking News Center.
ClassicChevrolet.com, WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
On the Dallas North Tollway southbound, just before 635, an accident in the two left lanes. This has traffic stacking up right around Beltline Road, a 5 to 10 minute delay. Still seeing very slow traffic heading westbound on 635, coming off the High 5 over to Hillcrest. This is due to an earlier wreck. In Arlington, eastbound I-20, just before New York Avenue, an accident still blocking the right lane, about a 3 to 4 minute backup to Matlock. That accident in Fort Worth on eastbound North Loop 820, just after Beach Street, has been cleared. All lanes are open again. Traffic quickly unwinding from I-35W. The WBAP First Traffic and Weather on the Ones, I'm Dave Allen.
Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine, #1 Chevy dealership in the world, 3 years straight. More new Chevrolets to choose from than anyone. All priced to sell at ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023 through 2025.
Your forecast from the WBAP On-Time Experts 24/7 Weather Center.
Wet and stormy week at times across the area. We will see a chance of showers and some thunderstorms as we head through the rest of the day and into the evening hours. Won't rain everywhere, but locally heavy rain the biggest concern. Highs in the mid-80s. And tonight, a few widely scattered storms through the evening, low 69. Scattered storms again possible Tuesday, highs in the mid-80s. Storms are likely widespread Tuesday night with locally heavy rain possible. Support comes from Amazon Business. You can't rely on guesswork to run your business. With smart business buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience paired with delivery options built for business. Empower your team today. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com. For WBAP News, I'm meteorologist Mark Thibodeau at the Weather Channel.
It's 85 degrees in both Dallas and Fort Worth. President Trump says a deal to end the war with Iran is nearly finished. Ashley Webster is in Tel Aviv, Israel with the latest.
Iran continues to be defiant and even threatening to expand the war if the United States renews its attacks. President Trump, meantime, says negotiations are progressing nicely, as he put it. The talks are focused on a memorandum of understanding that reportedly involves a 60-day ceasefire extension, then reopening the Strait of Hormuz.
The president also wants Iran to give up its enriched uranium stockpile. It's a deadly holiday weekend so far on area lakes. WBAP's Cameron Fairchild reports.
Emergency crews have recovered the bodies of 2 men who drowned in separate incidents at Joe Pool Lake over the weekend. Neither victim was wearing a life jacket. In Henderson County, a boat overloaded with 12 people capsized on Cedar Creek Lake. 2 young girls, ages 3 and 5, drowned. They were wearing life jackets but were trapped under the boat. All 10 adults swam to shore. And this morning, search teams at Lake Lavon recovered the body of an off-duty Dallas firefighter who went missing while kayaking over the weekend. Cameron Fairchild, WBAP News.
Your money news brought to you by NetWorthRadio.com. Iconic American beer brand Schlitz is now officially gone after 177 years.
The Wisconsin Brewing Company has brewed one final.
You have a Blue Ribbon Roofing live read after this segment.
On after a decades-long decline, starting with a cost-cutting formula change back in the 1970s. The Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company, founded in Milwaukee in 1849, made Schlitz one of America's dominant beer brands during the 20th century. Paul Stevens, Fox News.
Stock market closed today for Memorial Day. I'm Mike Trena. Keep connected, DFW, for the latest on the war in Iran. For updates anytime, go to WBAP.com or our free mobile app and start your weekday with WBAP's morning news. News, traffic, weather, and some laughs. Weekdays 5 till 9 on News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP. WBAP salutes Gunter. That's Gunter. Go to WBAP.com/secret contest or on our free mobile app for your chance to win a 7-night Alaskan cruise. Play as many times as you want. It's for special WBAP listeners just like you.
You're up. It's Memorial Day in the greatest country the world has ever known. I'm James Parker, News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. Never has there been a better sacrifice than the people that we're honoring today. You know, some people gave their lives for causes that turned out to be not so noble in the long run. Like, think of all the guys that died for the Confederacy, or think of all the guys that died fighting for ISIS, or think of all the guys that died fighting for the Nazis. You know, there's a lot of people who are on some terrible causes. This one is the complete opposite end of the spectrum. There has never been a more noble endeavor than the United States of America. Aside from the resurrection of Jesus, the most important event in human history, the one that affects the entire planet, not just us, the entire planet the most, is the American Revolution. I don't think we appreciate, and myself included, I don't think we appreciate how amazing that event was. At the time that it happened, every country on earth had a king or a queen. They were all monarchies, or, you know, something close to it, like an empire, an emperor, or like a military dictatorship. But no one had a democratic republic. That was something that is from fairy tales, from antiquity, 1700 years ago. But we made one. Other revolutions happened. Other people were overthrown. In fact, England had tried this themselves in the mid-1600s. I don't know how familiar you are with British history, but the Oliver Cromwell years, when they threw out the king, it went so bad. They didn't make a beautiful republic that endured. They brought the monarchy back within a few years. In fact, France tried it right after we did, and it failed so spectacularly, they brought the monarchy back after they finally got rid of Napoleon the second time. So there's something really special about this country. There's something really special about what our founding fathers put together, where we went from a backwater colony that was completely agricultural to the moon. We went from being a side project from a pretty important country into the unquestioned hyperpower of the planet for about 100 years now. Let's go ahead and, if anyone slags the country, give them a little bit of grace. Because one of the great things about this country is you're allowed to be wrong. You're allowed to be an idiot. The people that went out and fought and died, you know, they say, well, they didn't die for this. No, actually, they went out and died so you can have freedom of speech, which includes freedom to say dumb things. And one of the dumb things that I'm getting really tired of hearing is about how this is some kind of evil, racist country. Check this out. We go down to a middle school here, Stewart Middle School, where at Stewart Academy, the valedictorian gets to say a couple words at graduation last week. And it's just woke gobbledygook that almost breaks your heart. That what is this kid, 13, 14 years old? And this is how he thinks of his own school. But then it dawns on you, it's probably this school that taught him this garbage. Yeah, so there's concerns that who is putting this in a child's head. An eighth grader doesn't think this on his own, and that's not a path of thinking he would choose without outside intervention. I know. I have an eighth grader. She was just playing Minecraft right before the James show started. I have a seventh grader. What's he worried about? Is he worried about the sexism, racism, and homophobia that is endemic in his faculty at the middle school? Or is he thinking about, hey, maybe I need another Star Wars Lego set? That's so sad. So let's go to another campus. This one is in Texas, University of Houston. A guy with a microphone is talking to some woman who looks like she's 20, maybe 24 at the most. She's wearing a hijab, which is kind of disappointing. It's like, hey, you're in America. You don't have to do that. But it turns out she's an Egyptian exchange student, and she thinks her life in Egypt is infinitely better than the United States. Yeah, there's not a place you can go in Cairo or Alexandria where you don't feel safe. Ask Lara Logan. Lara Logan, she was a CBS News correspondent in the Arab Spring, February of 2011. She's in Tahrir Square in Cairo. She's in a mob of people, and she ends up getting sexually assaulted by a mob of about 200 men while reporting from Tahrir Square. They had to cut away from her. And she kept silent about it for over a decade and finally started doing interviews about it, just like a couple years ago? Yeah, other than that, though, other than if you're not wearing a hijab, then it's okay to rape you. Yes, women have a much better life over there. What a ridiculous thing to say. You have to be taught that. Because right now, you could take off that hijab at any moment and no one's going to say anything. In fact, you'd be more accepted and normal if you took off that hijab. And I know it's not that bad today, but I also know here in about 2 months, it's going to be 100,000 degrees outside, and you wish you didn't have to dress like one of the Imperial Guards from Return of the Jedi. You'll wish you could take that hijab off your head. You wish you had the freedom that we give our women in the Western world. You wish that you had freedom of speech. Go back over there. Go back over there then. Because even if, look, I was trying to make be the most generous case here, and I guess from one point of view, she's at the University of Houston, and if you know where that's at in Houston, it's not a real good part of town. It's kind of rough over there. It's kind of ghetto, kind of a place where you expect to hear gunshots. In fact, it happens so often they probably don't get reported, and so they put up the shot spotter, and the shot spotter was racist. Look, in that case, I don't know. There is like 5% of me, maybe 10% of me that's sympathetic to her case, because she may not have an impression. Like if she thinks that's what the rest of America looks like, that's like a oops on us. Because you can go pretty much anywhere else in America and be safer than you are in Egypt. You may be in the one place, you may be in the like hyper dangerous, worst neighborhood Houston has to offer. And there's only a few neighborhoods like that in America. When I say a few, I mean, what, 100? So out of the, 100% of the map, what is it? 1% of it's more dangerous than Cairo. And I'm not even sure that's more dangerous than Tahrir Square. Go ahead and take your hijab off, and in the middle of the night, walk through Tahrir Square, unaccompanied by a adult male, and we'll test your theory. You want to try that? But no, it's just sad because, she was trained that too. Just like the middle school kid, she was trained to think that no one who's taken an antiseptic, nonpartisan look at the standard of living for women in Egypt versus America could possibly come down on the side of Egypt. Cleopatra would choose America. Maybe not the Third Ward in Houston, but, maybe like Humble or the Woodlands, or, maybe like a Midlothian or something. 800-288-9227. Coming up next on The James Show, our friend James Varney from Real Clear Politics. It's News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP.
Some rest.
30 seconds to blue ribbon.
hometown cemeteries.
And some in locations known only to God.
I'm a soldier, it's my duty.
The brave men and women of our armed forces who made the ultimate sacrifice in defense of freedom and our nation.
Taking time to reflect that we have liberties and freedoms because of those people in their service.
This Memorial Day weekend.
My hope and prayer is that the sacrifices borne by so many will spawn and fulfill the promise of our nation.
Take a moment to remember.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey, homeowners, Texas weather is not done with your roof yet. I have clouds all around me on this Memorial Day. You might too, but I know you've gotten a bunch of bad weather. We all have over the last couple of months. If you see any signs of wear on your roof, you want to go to Blue Ribbon Roofing and get them to come out and do the free inspection for you. If you have any dents, any hail damage, if you got any hail, you want to go to blueribbondfw.com, get the free roof inspection. If your house is, if your roof's over 20 years old and you're thinking about selling your house, then you definitely want to get it inspected. You do not want the home inspector to come in and say, we got to get a whole new roof. That could upend the deal and lose you thousands and thousands of dollars. If you are missing one shingle, if your neighbor is missing one shingle, you want to go to blueribbondfw.com. Now, the inspection is free, but if you don't want to just trust the guy on the radio, you can scroll down and check out some of the 5-star Google reviews. Here's one from Francisco who says, Blue Ribbon is first class all the way. Guided us very helpfully through our process with our insurer until successfully obtaining claim for roof repair from hail damage. Very good communication, always very professional. Owners are very, very customer focused. We couldn't be more pleased. So I hope your roof is all right. But if it's not, blueribbondfw.com will take care of you, and I look forward to reading your 5-star Google review on a future episode of The James Show. Go to blueribbondfw.com.
Now more than ever,
You're down.
Security is national security. That's why Governor Greg Abbott and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick have endorsed Jim Wright's re-election to Railroad Commissioner. Jim Wright understands how important Texas energy is to make sure we keep America first.
Jim's ready to go.
Making sure hostile foreign nations can never have direct ownership or indirect influence on Texas energy. And he's not stopping there. Jim Wright will keep radical militant Islamists out of Texas energy, protecting our infrastructure and our future. Look at Jim Wright's results. Record oil revenues topping $6 billion, fueling our economy. Jim Wright knows energy independence is national security, keeping Texas strong and America secure. He'll always stand firm for Texas. Jim Wright, protecting Texas energy, securing America's future. Re-elect Jim Wright for Railroad Commissioner. Election Day is May 26th. Political ad paid for by Texas Now PAC.
Spring puts all of us into a project mode, yard work, house projects, getting everything ready. And that usually means one thing: more time on your feet. Hal J here for the Good Feet Store. I love these guys, and I know firsthand how foot pain can slow you down. Being personally fit for the Good Feet Arch Support System made it easier for me to stay on my feet longer and get more done without that constant achy, tired feeling. Plus, properly supporting your feet doesn't just matter at your feet. It can also help reduce strain on your knees, hips, and back, because when your foundation is supported, your whole body benefits. So, if you've got a list of projects this spring, don't let foot pain be the thing holding you back. Visit the Good Feet Store here in DFW with 8 locations, including a brand new one, Waxahachie. You have a Good Feet Store now. Be ready for whatever spring throws your way and step into the comfort with the Good Feet Store. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
Eastbound I-20 before Matlock in Arlington, an accident has the 2 left lanes blocked. Seeing a 5-minute backup already to Cooper Street. The wreck on eastbound 20 before New York Avenue now moved onto the right shoulder. On eastbound I-30 approaching Fielder, there's an accident taking up the center lane. Traffic is stop and go from East Chase Parkway. That's a 5 to 10 minute delay. On the Dallas North Tollway southbound just before 635, a crash. 2 left lanes are blocked. Just the right lane is getting by. 15-minute backup to Beltline Road. And on eastbound 635 at Preston Road, watch for a stalled vehicle. The right lane is blocked. The WBAP First Traffic, I'm Dave Allen.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green. Don't waste another weekend doing your lawn care yourself.
Partner with the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour and get a golf course quality lawn the easy way. Sign up at TrueGreen.com. Then sit back and relax.
Brought to you by WoodyWoodsPlumbing.com.
Plumbing problems can be stressful. Since 1954, Woody Woods Plumbing has ensured their customers expert service, no hidden fees, and honest upfront pricing. Go to WoodyWoods.com, serving all of DFW.
Call Woody Woods Plumbing today.
Licensed and background check.
Remember today, you listened to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM, WBAP.
You're up.
Happy Memorial Day, fellow Texans. I'm James Parker, News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. My next guest is our buddy from Real Clear Politics, because I couldn't get anybody else to work on a weekend, but he doesn't have a life. James Varney, thank you for coming back on.
Hi, James.
Such
Thanks
a glowing intro, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. I want to run down our top stories of the day, just kind of rapid fire and cover as much ground as I can in this segment, and then you can get back to day drinking or whatever. Number one, the Iran war peace deal. We keep getting hints and head fakes that it's about to happen, and it keeps not happening. And, after about 2 months of, well, it's almost over, it'll be over any day now. A lot of people are getting rightfully skeptical, Barnes.
Yeah, it's kind of inexplicable, I think, James, at this point. The Babylon Bee, which of course always has its finger on the pulse, was saying that the White House says Americans will have to accept these higher gas prices so we can accomplish nothing in Iran. And I think obviously we haven't accomplished nothing, but it seems curious that there's been this supposed ceasefire in effect for, I don't know, more than a month. But then you read these stories that the Iranians aren't observing it, at least in the Straits of Hormuz, they're not. And I don't quite understand what the U.S. is doing at this point. Trump, as you just mentioned, keeps talking about a deal. We're on the verge of a deal, but nothing ever happens. And I don't know how far you can even trust the Iranian negotiators on that. So it's a curious situation.
We did get rid of the Ayatollah, but now that just makes this whole war an assassination with extra steps.
Yeah, I'm certainly their leadership has been decimated. It seems as if their military capabilities have been decimated, although there's been reports in the New York Times and some elsewhere that supposedly we haven't even done that well in that regard. I think that I take that with a grain of salt. But I think at this point, you got to wonder, is Trump just looking for an exit? And is he going to accept a deal so he can just get away from this thing, in which case I'm not sure that how much we've accomplished.
Well, here's the frustrating part, Varney. I've said on this show for the last 2 months, and I still stand by it, that when this is all said and done, Trump's going to say he won, and the Trump critics are going to say he lost. He's going to say it was the best deal, best peace deal ever. I know it, you know it. Everybody knows it. Believe me. And his critics will say it was a huge, embarrassing failure and just a sign that he's a big, fat idiot. So we're not ever going to get decent reporting on this.
No, those conclusions, I think, were pretty baked in the cake at the beginning. But, you and I talked about this back when it started, and I was saying you never know how these things are going to go when they begin. You think you do, and you think you've got a great plan sketched out, but once these things get set in motion, they don't tend to go the way that you had it planned. So I'm not sure that this went as off the rails as some people want, like the people that are going to say Trump's a big fat idiot, as much as they think it did or want it to have done. But it does seem at this point to have been of dubious value, let's say.
Oh, I like that term. We're talking with James Varney from RealClearPolitics.com. The other big story of the weekend, another shooting at the White House. And I assume this was an attempt on the president's life. He didn't get very close. But this kind of seems to be happening a lot, Barnes.
I don't know if we see a lot of open gunfire outside the White House. As far as I can tell, this guy was just a complete Looney Tune. But he opens fire in broad daylight outside the White House. And fortunately, the Secret Service or the cops were there and killed the guy. But this goes to the whole thing that we've talked about with this inexplicable thinking that violence is in some cases an acceptable political solution. I mean, we see it with that creepy Mangione guy that allegedly killed the healthcare executive. We saw it with the guy with the gun at Kavanaugh. It goes all the way back even to that guy that shot up the Republican baseball team at a practice, if you remember that. This one, I think, is more like that lunatic that shot Gabby Giffords and those people. And what was that, Arizona? So I don't see a political angle here. But there does seem to be, as you said, a lot of high-profile incidents of people targeting prominent politicians.
Right, and it's hard to delineate
disquieting.
because this guy, you and I both use the same description. He's crazy. He's a Looney Tune. He's a mental patient.
Yeah.
But also Luigi Mangione, we don't consider him a mental patient, but don't you kind of have to be mental to think, I better kill the CEO of a healthcare company? You know, there's sort of a mental patient excuse that could be used for all of these.
I think for you and I, that seems crazy, right? But if you, or the guy that ran in at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, you know, they are being told by, in some cases, that this is okay. If you can look at polling that shows you that the higher you've reached in education, like people with graduate degrees are the highest percentage of people that think that sometimes violence is okay. It's some shocking number, like more than a third of them.
Mhm.
Whereas, you know, people that just went to high school and are going about their lives are like, no, in no situation is that acceptable. And then you've got New York Times podcasters sitting around talking about, yeah, you know, it's no problem to steal from Whole Foods. And maybe Louis Mangione was doing us all a service because this healthcare executive is responsible for many deaths. I mean, it's insane, but it seems to be something that allegedly sane people are pushing.
So, James Varney, it's Memorial Day, the day we honor those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our country. I think it's totally worth the ultimate sacrifice, even today in 2026. You probably do too. Does half of the country think it's not?
I hope not. And I kind of doubt that it would be half the country, but I don't think there's any question that going back to the draft and the Vietnam War, you've seen a real drop in whatever, if you want to call it patriotism, whatever it is, the motivating factor that leads people to think their country is worth defending. And of course, even in Vietnam, the truth is that most of those guys weren't drafted, and most of the guys, you know, were there with the best of intentions and were honorable people. And by most, I don't mean like 52%. I mean, we're talking like 90%, right? So, and the military, look, in my family, my late father-in-law won a Distinguished Flying Cross in World War II. My father was a lieutenant commander in the Navy during Vietnam. My uncle was in the Air Force and served in Saigon in Vietnam. So, you know, I have a ton of respect for the military. But I do think that the percentage of people that don't has risen. I don't think it would be half. Do you really think it's that high?
I don't know, because half of the people, like, does half this country think we're racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe, or do they just vote that way?
Well, they're getting told that, right? So
yeah,
I it's hard to say, but I don't think that it's half the country. And hopefully on a day like Memorial Day, some of the, whatever the percentage is, looks at it and reconsiders.
All right, good stuff. What you got going on at Real Clear Politics these days?
We've got some energy stories coming up. We had a great story by Paul Sperry going back to Vindman and that crazy impeachment. And Peter and I have a podcast that I would encourage you and your listeners to watch at realclearinvestigations.com.
Oh, I'll check that out. Send me a link if you don't mind.
I will do so.
And there he is. It's the great James Varney. You can see him at realclearpolitics.com, realclearinvestigations.com. On the James Show. Coming up next, you're going to hear from two Medal of Honor recipients who were interviewed on Face the Nation yesterday, and they told why they're optimistic about America's future. After that, I'll tell you why I'm optimistic about America's future. 800-288-9227. It's the Memorial Day special of the James Show on News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
You finally decided to
Yeah.
overdue family vacation or business trip. You apply for a passport, and then you find out your passport has been denied by the IRS. I'm Dallas tax attorney Nick Namath.
And I'm Jamie Flores, the managing partner at the law offices of Namath and Flores. If you thought the IRS can't affect your passport or ability to travel, Guess again. The IRS can and will prevent the issuance or renewal of a passport for certain delinquent taxpayers.
The law offices of Namath and Flores will help you get your life back. We have been right here in North Texas for over 25 years helping taxpayers resolve their IRS issues. We focus specifically on helping people like you resolve IRS wage levies, bank levies, tax liens, and even unfiled returns. The first visit is completely free and confidential.
Call the law offices of Namath and Flores today. Texas tax attorneys at 972-484-0TAX. That's 972-484-0829, or go to myiRSteam.com. Offices in Dallas, Fort Worth, and Frisco.
The guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate has always made selling your home easy, and we've updated our program to keep the most money in your pocket. First, we give you a guaranteed cash offer on your home, and you receive the cash up front immediately. We then set your list price, we put it on the market, and if we sell it for more than we gave you up front, we'll give you the difference back in cash. It's absolutely no risk to you, only upside. Why would you do business with anybody else? It's the absolute best way to sell your home in today's market.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. Stop paying the big guys twice what you need to. Dial pound 250, say my name. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, to switch to Pure Talk, where the savings are truly unlimited.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station.
Your Texas voice for common sense.
News Talk 820, WBAP.
And now, new on FM at 93.3, trending now.
The president says talks deemed more professional from Iranian negotiators. I'm Mike Traina from the 24-hour Breaking News Center.
ClassicChevrolet.com, WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
Eastbound I-20 just before Matlock in Arlington. An accident now blocking the 3 left lanes. Only the right lane's getting by. The entrance ramp and exit ramp lane is also open. It's about a 5-minute backup to Cooper Street. Southbound 360 at Mayfield got a wreck. It's in the 2 right lanes. Stop and go traffic from 303 Pioneer Parkway. On the Dallas North Tollway, southbound just before 635, an accident. Only the right lane is getting by. 5-minute delay from Spring Valley Road. And a stalled vehicle eastbound 635 at Preston Road. The right lane is blocked. Traffic is slowing through that scene. With WBAP First Traffic and Weather on the Ones, I'm Dave Allen.
Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine, #1 Chevy dealership in the world, 3 years straight. More new Chevrolets to choose from than anyone. All priced to sell at ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023 through 2025.
Your forecast from the WBAP On-Time Experts 24/7 Weather Center. Today, partly cloudy. Isolated showers and thunderstorms, high near 86. Tonight, mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming clear with a low around 69. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high near 87. It's 85 degrees in Dallas and 84 in Fort Worth. President Trump is hinting that a deal with Iran is closer than ever, taking to social media to say negotiations are proceeding nicely.
The president posting on social media, nobody has seen it, meaning the deal, or knows what it is. It isn't even fully negotiated yet. So don't listen to the losers who are critical about something they know nothing about. Unlike those before me who should have solved this problem many years ago, I don't make bad deals, end quote. The president over the weekend did say the blockade remains in full effect, but did note that he believes that the communication with Iran is getting better, says that it is, quote, more professional.
Fox's David Spunt reporting. Your money news brought to you by NetWorthRadio.com. Spotify announcing 2 new features.
The first is called Reserved, a new initiative that sets aside concert tickets for premium subscribers, giving them
a better shot at buying them starting this summer in the US. The second is a feature that allows premium subscribers to make AI-generated covers and remixes of songs. That feature has not been given a release date. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
Wall Street closed today due to the Memorial Day holiday. I'm Mike Traina. Keep connected, DFW, for the latest on the war in Iran. For updates anytime, go to WBAP.com or our free mobile app and start your weekday with WBAP's Morning News, traffic, weather, and some laughs. Weekdays 5 till 9 on News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM, WBAP.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green. Don't waste another weekend doing your lawn care yourself. Partner with the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour and get a golf course quality lawn the easy way. Sign up at truegreen.com. Then sit back and relax.
Traffic reports that'll get you moving.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Welcome to the Memorial Day episode of the James Show. News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. Oh, look, you don't have the day off either. You either have a really important job or a really unimportant job. That's where we're at on this Memorial Day. We won't comment on where I'm at, but we will hear from a couple of Medal of Honor recipients. This is cool because, look, Medal of Honor guys are guys who you can't question them. They volunteered, they stepped up, they went through it in their most dire, stressful, challenging moment of their life. They made all the right decisions, all the brave decisions, and God only knows how I would react in that situation, how you would react in this situation. But we know these guys have done something spectacular and demonstrated that they have the intestinal fortitude and mental stability that you should listen when they have opinions on such things. So their names are both William. One of them is William Swinson. The other one is Matt Williams. So I'm just referring to them as the Williams for a shortcut here. But they were on Face the Nation yesterday, and the lady that is interviewing them, Brennan, she didn't sound very optimistic. She's like, I understand you're optimistic, but in such a dark time like this, I mean, how do you explain yourselves? Yeah, I'm pretty optimistic about our future. One of the reasons I'm optimistic about our future is because we've been the forefront on all the big technological advancements in your life. And it used to not be that case. That was something really recent. You know, when we first started, we were just sort of an agricultural colony. And then the Industrial Revolution comes on. The British start doing cool things with steam, making little engines and then boats and then choo-choo trains and then all kinds of factory machines where they're replacing textile workers and they're replacing factory workers and they're doing the Industrial Revolution. Well, we were second to that. British beat us to it, and France was kind of ahead of us, and Germany was ahead of us for a while, and we kind of passed them up I don't know, around 1900 to World War II, there was sort of a changing of the guard. But since World War II, it's been all us, baby. We have the overwhelming majority of all the inventions, all the patents, all the technological advancements, Nobel Prizes in science. I mean, even things like Olympic medals. We are just all over all of it. We are the top of the heap of all of that. And if you look out on the new future, the medium-term frontier, we're poised to be ahead on that too. When it comes to supercomputing, when it comes to AI, when it comes to all the technological information advancements we're making, when it comes to space travel, when it comes to just frivolously launching a electric vehicle to Mars with a dummy in it, a robot in it. We're doing that. Who else is doing that? Anyone else doing that? Anyone else have private space travel? Does anyone else have 3 different private space travel companies? Who are the big tech giants in the world? Russia and China have both tried to make their copies of our Facebook and our Google and our Amazon, but it's just not quite working out. They can't copy our Netflix. So we are at the forefront of all that. And as long as we don't do something stupid like slow roll the building of data centers, geniuses, there's no reason why we can't continue to be the top. Because every time there was one of these big advancements, that was a chance for someone to knock us off. You know, the technology was there since the 60s to do this whole internet thing, but we were the ones who embraced it in the late 80s and early 90s and made it happen. If France had done that, if Germany had done that, if Russia had done that, if China had done that, they would be ahead of us. If Japan would have done that, they would have been ahead of us. We would be all on the Japanese version of Facebook. They would just have an English translation for it because they're way ahead of us and they can do things we can't. But we stayed ahead in the 90s when that was a big deal. We stayed ahead with all the smartphones. Now we're staying ahead with all the AI, and I'm nothing but optimistic about our future because I don't think even I understand how much affluence AI is about to bring us. You know, I'm starting to sound like a little like Elon on this one, but we don't even know how good this is going to be. Have you heard Elon talk about this? Where he talks about the level of affluence. He was recommending people, you don't even have to don't even bother saving for retirement anymore. We're all going to be so rich in a few years, it'll be silly to even think about. Now, I'm not that far down the road, but I'm definitely open to that conversation. 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. Coming up next, Konstantin Kisin will make the case that we are not a racist country. And if that's our biggest sin and we're past that, then there's not a whole lot to complain about in America. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820, 93.3 FM WBAP.
When the big stories break.
You're down.
Wage reforms, the American people have lower grocery prices, cheaper transportation of goods, lower cost of air conditioning.
If we can't get a good deal, the president's been clear. He has other options.
Keep connected, DFW.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Little things don't really matter, right? Oh, okay. You don't need a shower curtain. I mean, water on the floor builds character. Trash bag in your trash can? Nah, just rinse it out later. Ew. A pillowcase? Not needed. Live a little. What about an attic stair insulated cover? What? Yeah, you could do without it. Or can you? That thin barrier between your home and your attic, it's letting hot air in. Texas home that never feels quite comfortable.
This is Mark Latham, retired fire captain and founder of Firehouse Roofing since 1997. I've seen how the smallest gaps can lead to the biggest problems. That's why we install attic tents for only $129, sealing off your attic access to block heat, bugs, and dust from entering your home. If you don't notice a difference, we'll make it right. Go to firehouseroofing.com to schedule today.
Don't get burned, get a Firehouse Roof.
President Trump doesn't trust backstabbing rhino Chip Roy because Chip Roy betrayed MAGA. Roy backed Liz Cheney and pushed to impeach President Trump.
President of the United States deserves universal condemnation for impeachable conduct.
Then Chip Roy helped illegal aliens avoid deportation. And Roy even supported perverts and predators by siding with Gavin Newsom and the trans lobby to push transgender surgeries for children. When we fought back, Roy told MAGA voters,
"You can kiss my ass."
MAGA Mays Middleton stood with President Trump against perverts and predators, stopped radical transgender surgeries for kids, banned men from girls' sports, kicked trans perverts out of women's restrooms, and MAGA Mays banned radical Muslim groups from buying property in Texas and is stopping Sharia law in Islamic enclaves. That's why President Trump called Mays a MAGA champion with a conservative record that is second to none. MAGA Mays Middleton for Texas Attorney General.
Political ad paid for by the Mays Middleton campaign.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
You may have heard ads for the Good Contractors List for over a decade, but do you know what it really is? Many homeowners think that they're like Angie's List, but the Good Contractors List is something much more. The Good Contractors List is the first ever contractor resource that has effectively separated the good contractors from the bad. A true safe contractor community that benefits homeowners. A community of contractors from every field of home service that share the same values, standards, and desire to do things right. The whole community is governed by a third party who's willing to risk $25,000 to guarantee every job they do. I've used them many times, and the guarantee gives such peace of mind. Taking true responsibility has allowed the Good Contractors List to grow to a community that is now in 21 states. If you want to join a community where homeowners are protected and good contractors are elevated, then go to thegoodcontractorslist.com today. That's thegoodcontractorslist.com.
If the job's not right, we'll get it fixed. Only at the Good Contractors List.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
Accidents are working in Arlington on eastbound I-20 before Matlock. It is now blocking all 4 of the main lanes. Traffic is getting by, though, in the entrance ramp and exit ramp lane. You're backed up to Bowen Road. It's going to be about a 20 to 25-minute delay. Southbound 360 at Mayfield, an accident. 2 right lanes are blocked. It's a 5-minute backup to 303 Pioneer Parkway. Stalled vehicle in North Dallas, eastbound 635 at Preston Road. The right lane is blocked. And in Mesquite, still have construction set up eastbound Highway 80 approaching Galloway Avenue. Only the left lane's getting by. 10-minute backup to Gus Thomason. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Dave Allen.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green. Don't waste another weekend doing your lawn care yourself. Partner with the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour and get a golf course quality lawn the easy way. Sign up at truegreen.com. Then sit back and relax.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
You're up.
Happy Memorial Day from the greatest country the world's ever known. I'm James Parker. This is The James Show on News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. Really, Guns N' Roses? Can I get that scratch from the bumper list? Tell Bruce I don't want Guns N' Roses on the bumper list. And don't at me, people. I don't need to hear your opinion on Axl Rose or Slash or any of that. Konstantin Kisin is his name. Now, I think he's a Greek guy, but from Britain. Like, his ethnicity is Greek. Obviously, he has a very Greek-sounding name if it's spelled with K's. But he was making the case about Western civilization as a whole, but this really applies to both individually Britain and America, and really the whole Western world. We're talking about Australia, New Zealand, Canada, US, Britain. The idea that these are racist countries is not only not true, it's completely laughable because we're the least racist countries. We're the countries that brought the world this whole dumb diversity, equity, and inclusion thought process that goes too far in the other direction. In fact, we're so open-minded. That's our problem, not racism. Our inability to recognize race, if it makes some people uncomfortable, is more of a problem than actual white supremacists out there. But he said it in a nice, eloquent way. I thought you would appreciate this. Right. So not only do we not deserve the criticism for being racist, we deserve the praise for being the people who got rid of it. So yeah, that's something that if you're new to the James Show, you just need to get used to this. America's the best country ever. It's not even close. It is a long, long distance to second place. Yes, we're better than the British Empire, the Spanish Empire, the Roman Empire, the Byzantines, or anyone you can come up with. Because the number one comeback is, if we're not the greatest country ever, who is? Who is better? Who would you put above us? Egypt? Okay, so now after this, we all celebrate freedom. We're the greatest. Capitalism is better than socialism. I know it. You know it. Everybody knows it. Believe me. Somehow, how did we get this goober to be the mayor of New York City, Zoran Mamdani? New York City. The name sounds like a Saturday Night Live character. Well, what's the name of the new mayor? Zoran? Really? What is he, like a genie of the lamp? So here he is making fun of Margaret Thatcher's old line that with socialism, the problem with socialism is eventually you run out of other people's money. And he just says like a fantasy line and he gets wild applause. And makes me slap my forehead so hard it leaves a handprint. What are you idiots cheering for? So when does that ever happen? Socialists to clean up the mess. And one time in history that's happened. Because when we split Germany in half, we made half of it socialist, half of it capitalist. Who had to rescue whom? Were people going from West Berlin to East Berlin so fast and heavy that they had to put up a wall? Or was it the socialists that had to put up the wall? Zoran Mamdani? When the Soviet Union fell and the Iron Curtain was no more, and you had a bunch of satellite states in Eastern Europe that could remain communist, or they could have liberalized, lowercase l, liberalized toward capitalism, what did every single one of them do? Poland, Hungary, Romania, Czechoslovakia, or Czechia and Slovakia now, all the Yugoslav goobers, Bulgaria, what did they all do? They all ran toward capitalism. They had 70 years of your stupid socialist economy, and they hated it. Where's the opposite happen? Where has there been a 70-year experiment in free market capitalism, and then it collapsed, so the socialists had to run in and clean up the mess? It's never happened. And so where does this cheering come from? That's the frustrating part. He says something that's just economically and historically illiterate, and people just scream their head off. What the heck's going on? You can do him scream. What, is Taylor Swift coming out? That's so frustrating. Because he didn't explain. Yeah, we run out of other people's money, but no, he didn't even explain how Margaret Thatcher was wrong. Yes, sure, we're broke. We're going to come clean up the mess. And then what are you going to do? You're going to start the French Revolution, start guillotining 20,000 of your own citizens? You're going to have a 5-year plan in Russia that ends up starving out a few million Ukrainians? Or you're going to have a 5-year plan, a great leap forward in Maoist China, end up killing 50 million of your own citizens? Are you going to have the Great Purge from the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia? This is the history of socialism, Zoran Mamdani. You know, you don't come in and clean up other people's mess. You come in, you appropriate everything, take it over by the state, you oppress your enemies, start mass graves, and eventually you get down to where people have to break into the zoo and eat the animals. What step are you on? Where's the clean up the mess part? I guess there is less of a mess in the zoo if you've ate all the animals because you're starving. 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. Sorry, I just couldn't let that one go. Not on Memorial Day. Coming up next, tomorrow is an election day here in North Texas, and I'll give you a quick preview. We're not going to tell you who to vote for, just what the heck's going on. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
This is Dallas Express CEO.
You're down.
Of the far left, deep blue state-owned Dallas Morning News and Star Telegram. Subscribe to the 100% Texas-owned and operated Dallas Express News for free today at DallasExpress.com. News by Texans for Texans. Those other guys, get a rope.
In phony TV ads, Mays Middleton says he's mega, but he's got no experience in a courtroom. Just a family trust fund and a new red hat. Mays isn't mega. He's the guy who sponsored a bill allowing mosques to build their own housing developments. Middleton admitted his bill, quotes, empowers mosques to use their land for housing development, paving the way for Sharia cities in Texas. To Islamic radicals, Mays is Mecca, not MAGA. The real Trump conservative?
Chip Roy running for office? I'm Chip Roy, and I'll always shoot you straight. My opponent's trying to fool you, using his trust fund to bankroll lies. It's a bunch of bull. You're doing a good job, Chip. Yeah, I drive a hard bargain.
He's not easy, but he's good.
Because I do what's right for Texas. The Austin Swamp wants a puppet, but with illegals, criminals, and Sharia law on our doorstep, Texas needs a fighter for Attorney General. I'm Chip Roy, and I approve this message.
Political advertising paid for by Texans for Chip Roy.
A family office is a team built to handle the 3 biggest financial responsibilities a family faces: wealth management, tax strategy, and estate planning. Most firms only manage your investments and refer the rest out, hoping everyone stays aligned. At Trajan, we built something different. Your wealth, tax planning, and estate planning are handled together inside one firm, under one roof. There's no guessing whether your CPA, advisor, and estate attorney are truly in sync, because our team works together every day on your behalf. When your financial life becomes more complex, your advice should become more coordinated, not more fragmented. One plan, one trusted team. Call Trajan today, 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Trajan Wealth, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TrajanWealth.com.
Healthcare is evolving from simple treating illness to identifying risk early. At Visionary Wellness Imaging, we provide a refined preventative imaging experience designed to help you better understand your health before symptoms appear. If you're over 35, or if you have a family history of heart disease, lung disease, or cancer, a preventative scan can offer meaningful insight at a pivotal time. With advanced imaging technology, an in-house radiologist, 5-star patient reviews, Visionary Wellness Imaging delivers care that's sophisticated, trusted, and convenient. Your scan takes less than 5 minutes, and for under $400, you can choose our heart and lung scan for a more complete look at your health. Don't wait for symptoms. Take control of your future. Take control today by setting up a scan at visionarywellnessimaging.com. Because what you don't know can hurt you, but what you do know can save your life. Book your scan or set up a consultation at visionarywellnessimaging.com. That's visionarywellnessimaging.com.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Hi, Chief Meteorologist Brad Barton here for Old Pro Roofing. You know, we've had several hailstorms roll through DFW this spring, and your home may have been one of the unfortunate ones impacted. Well, have you noticed how suddenly roofers are just everywhere? As a homeowner, you may be wondering whom you can actually trust. Well, Old Pro Roofing is local, established, and they'll be here long after the storm passes. They provide honest inspections, quality workmanship, and guidance you can count on throughout the entire process. Don't gamble with your biggest investment. Trust your home to an Old Pro. OldProRoofing.com.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas, Fort Worth. And KPLX HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Your Texas voice for common sense. Trending now.
Operation Storm Watch in effect in north central Texas, as a severe thunderstorm warning is in the Tarrant County area. We'll have more coming up here. I'm Mike Trena from the 24-hour Breaking News Center.
ClassicChevrolet.com, WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
In Arlington, eastbound I-20 now shut down at Cooper Street due to this accident. Traffic is coming to a standstill right around Park Springs Boulevard, seeing at least a 35-40 minute delay. The accident on southbound 360 at Mayfield has been cleared. Heavy traffic from 303 Pioneer Parkway. Looks like we got an accident now in the mid-cities, westbound 183 just before East Loop 820, right around the Bedford-Euless area. There's a left lane blocked as well as the right shoulder. Traffic is backed up to the 121 merge. It's a 25-minute delay. And in Carrollton, watch for a wreck eastbound on the Bush Turnpike just after Kelly Boulevard. 2 right lanes are blocked. With WBAP First Traffic and Weather on the Ones, I'm Dave Allen.
Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine, #1 Chevy dealership in the world. 3 years straight. More new Chevrolets to choose from than anyone. All priced to sell at ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023 through 2025.
It's Operation Storm Watch on the WBAP On-Time Experts 24/7 Weather Center. The National Weather Service in Fort Worth has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Tarrant County until 4:30. At 3:46 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located over Haltom City, moving west at 25 miles per hour with 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, quarter-sized hail. People outside should move immediately to shelter or inside a strong building. Again, the National Weather Service in Fort Worth has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Tarrant County until 4:30 p.m. Otherwise, tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming clear with a low around 69. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high around 87. Currently, it's 84 degrees in Dallas and 84 in Fort Worth. News brought to you by Reliant Air Conditioning. President Trump marked Memorial Day with traditional remarks, but also referenced the ongoing conflict with Iran. David Spunt at the White House with details.
During his speech at Arlington National Cemetery on Memorial Day, he did mention those U.S. service members who were killed supporting Operation Epic Fury.
In Operation Epic Fury, we lost 13 wonderful souls, wonderful, special people. These incredible men and women gave their lives to ensure that the world's #1 state sponsor of terror will never have a nuclear weapon. Oh, and they won't. They will never have a nuclear weapon.
Over the weekend, Trump met with advisors hoping to hammer out some sort of deal with Iran, but none came to pass yet. Patience is the key, according to the president's top diplomat, who is touring India.
While details have not been released in a social media post, the president said negotiations are proceeding nicely. Now here's Spencer McGowan with your money news, brought to you by NetWorthRadio.com.
2026 AI IPO mania. Initial public offerings for AI stocks coming fast and furious. SpaceX hoping for a $2 trillion valuation to raise $75 billion in cash. Anthropic and OpenAI not far behind. Cerebras Systems went public here in May, reaching a valuation of $63 billion with less than $800 million in sales. 80 times sales and losing money. Ooh, that's generous. Spencer McGowan, News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
Stock market closed today due to Memorial Day. I'm Mike Traina. Keep connected DFW for the latest on the war in Iran. For updates anytime, go to WBAP.com or on our free mobile app and start your weekday with WBAP's morning news. News, traffic, weather, and some laughs. Weekdays 5 till 9 on News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP. WBAP salutes Stephenville. That's Stephenville. Go to WBAP.com/secret contest or on our free mobile app for your chance to win a 7-night Alaskan cruise. Play as many times as you want. It's for special WBAP listeners just like you.
You're up. All right, don't forget, there is an election day tomorrow in Texas. I'm James Parker, News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. Welcome to the James Show on this Memorial Day weekend. I guess Memorial Day, period. But tomorrow is an election day. We had the early voting. We're already through that. And this isn't the first vote. This is the runoff. And, you know, we have so much going this year. We had the original early vote that happened 3 months ago. And then we had the vote that happened at the beginning of the month. What was that, May 2nd or May 5th or whenever that was? And then May 6th. And then this is the runoff to the election that happened back in February. But this is going to determine who's going to be on the ballot for our next round of voting happening in November. WFAA did a fantastic preview of tomorrow's election. So that's what's going on there. One famous name that is not on the ballot anymore. I mean, there's going to be a couple, but I'm really surprised here that Jasmine Crockett isn't going to be on the ballot. She's not going to be on the ballot in November. She lost her jungle primary back in February to James Tallarico. Not even a runoff. That's kind of the shocking part. Not even a runoff. But just to, fill in the gaps of our memory because we've gotten so used to her. Here is a nice cup of her saying you're not patriotic. Another local news here beyond the primary. WFAA had a report that I'm kind of scratching my head over. Like, I mean, on one hand, I get it. On the other hand, this is totally not necessary. So you remember last year when there was a shooting at the Dallas ICE facility about 3 blocks up from where the WBAP studios are? You remember that? Some Antifa guy got up there and out of some antipathy toward ICE and law enforcement and Trump and MAGA and you. He went up there and squeezed off some rounds, hoping to take care of some of the Gestapo. He ended up accidentally killing 2 illegal immigrants, where I think one of them was actually legal, like had papers. But he ended up killing 2 immigrants in a painful fit of irony there. But WFAA has this story about how in Oak Cliff they made a mural for the 2 victims. And then they're going to tell you the story as if this is just the country we live in today with all this, these Trumpian idiots and these MAGA fools and this ICE enforcement and this antipathy toward the immigrant community. which it wasn't one of us. It wasn't one of you. It wasn't an it was a pro-immigrant activist that ended up murdering these people. It was a left-wing guy. The same people that are on the team are the folks who did this mural. That was one of your teammates. They'll be making a anyway. Let me play you the report.
A new mural honoring the 2 people killed at the ICE facility in Dallas last year is now on display in Oak Cliff. It's painted outside a coffee shop on Jefferson Avenue, where people have also been leaving flowers and messages. Organizers say the memorial is both a celebration of life and a call for justice and accountability.
Show the beauty of, of both the people, Norlan and Miguel, and, show something beautiful for the family, that we can at least create something that honors their memory.
Now, Norlan Guzman Fuentes and Miguel Angel Garcia were killed last September when a gunman fired shots at that ICE facility.
Yeah, they didn't say that it was an Antifa guy that did it, right? They didn't say it was a pro-illegal immigration activist. They didn't say it was a left-wing activist. They didn't say it's a Democrat activist. They didn't say any label. It's so weird how they choose. I mean, it's not weird. You know what the game is. But no labels there. What color was the guy that shot him? Well, come on, this is a good time to build up antipathy towards whites, and I know y'all love to do that in every other situation. Oh, that's right. You don't even really hate whites. You just exploit racial suffering for political gain. That's right. But this is not helpful. This is not a good thing. Oh, it's bad to remember people who were shot from needless violence. No, the problem is you go down Gene Botham Boulevard to Jefferson, you take a right, and there's this mural. You come back up to downtown. You can't have constant reminders that society is divided without further dividing society. There is a limit. Like, I'm not saying we should erase our history or forget what the evil stuff the Democrats did in the name of racism throughout the first half of this country, but we've gone too far. So you have Gene Botham Boulevard from the Amber Geiger shooting. And when was that? 2016. So look, 10 years ago, a white person unjustly killed a black person. Let's remember that forever. Then let's skip over the 400 blacks that were murdered by other blacks in the meantime until we get some people of color who were murdered by an Antifa activist. And since that can draw sympathy toward the immigrant community, we'll make a mural for these guys. What the heck for? Why not for a mural for any of the other people that were murdered in Dallas? Why just these? Well, because it serves the political purpose.
James, we got to go to a severe thunderstorm warning.
They will exploit the suffering of what they even consider disenfranchised, marginalized, exploited minorities just for political purposes. And that's all this mural is. All right, we're going to step aside Operation Stormwatch. We have a weather emergency. We go to the WBAP newsroom. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP.
Down.
Operation Stormwatch on WBAP. Meteorologist Brad Barton from the On Time Experts 24/7 Weather Center. We have severe thunderstorm warnings and a flash flood warning coming out for Tarrant County right now. Stand by as we alert our other stations in the area on WBAP. We interrupt programming at the request of the National Weather Service to activate the North Texas Emergency Alert System. The National Weather Service issuing a flash flood warning and a severe thunderstorm warning for Tarrant County until 6 p.m. Doppler radar indicates slow-moving thunderstorms producing heavy rain over northern Tarrant County, drifting southeast at about 5 miles per hour. Once again, a severe thunderstorm warning and a flash flood warning for Tarrant County until 6 p.m. A severe thunderstorm in Tarrant County, drifting southeast at 20 miles per hour. All North Texas stations affected by this alert are requested to relay the preceding message. Just a quick radar update on you. We have this particular storm that's over central Tarrant County, and additional thunderstorms underway to the southeast of there, down toward Arlington, Mansfield, Midlothian, and down to Grand Prairie, and even into Kaufman County. These storms are slowly moving almost to the east at about 10 miles per hour, so they're going to continue to produce some flash flooding downpours in the area. But once again, these are the warnings that are out for now for Tarrant County in terms of the severe thunderstorm warning and flash flood warning. We'll keep you advised. Live from the WBAP On Time Weather Center I'm meteorologist Brad Barton.
When the big stories break.
Thanks to today's reforms, the American people have lower grocery prices, cheaper transportation of goods, lower cost of air conditioning.
If we can't get a good deal, the president's been clear. He has other options.
Keep connected, DFW.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
At Genesis of Plano, part of the Huffines Auto family, we're committed to doing things the right way. With clear, upfront pricing, no unwanted dealer addendums, and over 100 years serving North Texas. Our vehicles are engineered to inspire exploration, pushing the boundaries of what luxury can be. And our dealership delivers an experience defined by comfort, intention, and elevated detail. Visit Genesis of Plano today and discover a higher standard of luxury, totally on your terms.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. What are your rights and responsibilities? Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
Dallas, Fort Worth, and St. Louis.
Investors, this message is for you. Each week, McGowan Group Wealth Management, ranked one of the best in Texas by Forbes magazine, pulls the most important financial headlines and research to bring you Net Worth Radio. Saturday afternoons at 4, WBAP 820 and 93.3 FM. Get your weekly fast-paced tour of the most important financial news with investment strategy. WBAP Saturdays at 4 and networthradio.com.
Avoid the headaches of a traditional home sale and move on your timeline with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. No showings, no open houses, just a simple, stress-free way to sell your home. Hi, it's Ernie Brown. Selling your home really can be overwhelming. That's why who you work with really matters. My friends at Mark Spain Real Estate can help you sell your home hassle-free without the stress of putting your home on the market. Mark Spain Real Estate has been in the business for 30 years, and they know what matters most to their clients: a quick sale and maximum profit. Listen to what one of their satisfied clients, Chris, said. Selling our 16-year-old home was quick thanks to the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. We avoided the stress of showings, constant cleaning, and negotiations. Their guaranteed offer was beyond what we were hoping for.
Aaron's ready to go.
Be next. Mark Spain Real Estate is the #1 most reviewed real estate company in the U.S. with over 13,000 five-star reviews. Trust them.
Oh, so we might have to send another severe thunderstorm warning in the middle of your segment. They're starting to roll in.
All right.
Spain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
James Parker here. Spring is upon us, which means that unpredictable Texas weather is here. Now is a great time to get your roof inspected so you know you're in good shape for storm season, and I cannot recommend my friends at Blue Ribbon Roofing highly enough.
Thank you, James. This is John Hopkins of Blue Ribbon Roofing. We are a family-owned and operated roofing company in DFW, have been for 32 years. Look us up. We have a stellar reputation with thousands of glowing reviews. Reach out to us. We want to come and give you a free roof inspection. It won't cost you a nickel. It won't take up more than 10 minutes of your time. And you will deal with the owners, John Hopkins, myself, Tish Hopkins, my wife, Trevor Hopkins, my son, Jenna Hopkins, my daughter-in-law. You cannot get a more thorough roof inspection. Reach out to us, blueribbondfw.com.
A local company that will handle your roof from start to your claim to final inspection. It couldn't be easier. Schedule your free inspection today by going to blueribbondfw.com.
In Arlington, eastbound I-20 remains closed from Cooper Street over to Matlock due to an accident. Traffic is backed up to Park Springs Boulevard, at least a 30-minute delay. Some high water reported now in Hurst on eastbound 183 just after Bedford-Euless Road. This has traffic backed up onto North Loop 820 in the eastbound lanes from just before Boulevard 26. Also seeing a slowdown on northbound East Loop 820 as well. That accident on westbound 183 at Bedford-Euless Road has been cleared, but you're also dealing with some high water. And in Dallas, still have road work underway northbound I-35E on the ramp to eastbound I-30. Only with WBAP First Traffic, I'm Dave Allen.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green. Don't waste another weekend doing your lawn care yourself. Partner with the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour and get a golf course quality lawn the easy way. Sign up at truegreen.com. Then sit back and relax.
Starting out your day or getting in the car, make us a preset to stay connected, DFW, for the news, traffic, weather, sports, and compelling talk to keep you in the know.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
You're up.
Hey there, happy Memorial Day. I'm not trying to ruin your holiday, but we got to talk about some nasty teachers in Texas. I'm James Parker, News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. To get an assist with this, Aaron, I'm starting to have like a reverse Pavlovian response for whenever I hear your name. I'm like, oh God, what's going on now? But Aaron Anderson, Texas scorecard on the dirty teachers, the stories. Welcome back, Aaron. Sorry for the terrible intro.
Thanks for having me back, James. Sorry it's always on this terrible topic, but Texas families need to know that this is still going on inside our schools.
So let's start with one that you put up today. What, they make you work on Memorial Day?
No, actually, I wrote about this one at the end of the day on Friday, but it was getting late, and so they just held it for publication on Monday since we were out. But sad to say, hardly a day goes by where there is not one of these reports. This was actually an update. A band director out in Abilene had been arrested in January, and a grand jury has just now indicted him. It's a possession of child sexual abuse material charge, which we're seeing a lot of inside our schools, unfortunately. People who are interested in, pictures and videos of child sex around our children all day long. It's a problem. So this band director out in Abilene, one of the things I wanted to kind of point out to your readers, that's something that we've been following and covering at Texas Scorecard, is some new legislation passed last year has opened up some new tools for the state to use in cases like this. And this band director, Lance Mosley, is an example. He had his Texas teaching
We have to send out another alert.
definitely suspended by the TEA once he was charged. And he has also been added temporarily to the do not hire registry of teachers who, people who are not allowed to work inside our public schools. It used to be you had to wait for a final conviction on a lot of these cases for these people to get, to get
put on the
removed
list.
from the system. So now they're able, when there's serious charges like this, we're able to, the state is able to remove them from the system while the case is litigated.
Good stuff.
And
All
so
right.
that's an advance.
Let me hit pause on Aaron Anderson from TexasScorecard.com. We have another emergency weather update and the WBAP newsroom.
This is Operation Storm Watch on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Mike Trena in the WBAP newsroom. The National Weather Service in Fort Worth has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Tarrant County until 4:30. Also, it is doing one for Ellis County as well in Ellis County. So give us a moment now while we alert other stations here on WBAP. We interrupt regular programming at the request of the National Weather Service to activate the North Central Texas Emergency Alert System. The National Weather Service in Fort Worth has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for central Ellis County until 4:45 p.m. At 4:09 p.m. Central Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm is located near Waxahachie, moving southeast at 25 miles per hour with 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. People outside should move immediately to shelter inside a strong building. Again, the National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for central Ellis County until 4:45 p.m. All North Central Texas stations affected by this alert are requested to rebroadcast the preceding announcement.
Back up, James.
All right, we're back on the James Show here, continuing with Aaron Anderson from TexasScorecard.com, and we're going over the bad apples of teachers here in North Texas. You had another story last week about a Texas teacher and baseball coach in Collinsville ISD that got in trouble. And this is something we see a lot, is the guys that are in extracurriculars, the band directors, the coaches. And I find that a little discomforting, knowing that these are the type of faculty that goes on trips with students. So that's kind of a big flag.
Well, you're right, James. And actually, that's one of the reasons that we see these cases with those coaches and band directors, because they have that access to students, access away from parents, outside school hours with extra, practices and lessons and whatnot. So they actually have the opportunity this coach in Collinsville, he's been on leave. He was on leave since October, and the school district tried to fire him, and he appealed, and we've been waiting for some resolution. And I finally called up the school and says, what's the status? They said, oh, he's no longer with the district. Whatever that vague statement means. What it means is that he's resigned, because there's only two ways for teachers to leave a district: they're fired or they have resigned. But he managed to stay on paid administrative leave from October until May. No charges have yet been filed against him, and they may not be. The police have been investigating supposedly for this long period of time. But the fact remains that he violated school policies and the educator's code of ethics, which says you may not have these kind of social media interactions with students. And that's what happened. The charge they are investigating him for is called grooming. It's a third-degree felony. It's serious. So it's not just, hey, we were just joking around with some text messages and whatnot. This is simply not allowed. And so whatever happens criminally, the school district reviewed all the evidence and determined he was not suitable to continue working around their students, and again, pursued firing him. He's now gone. Another intrepid investigator found that at a previous school district, he'd actually been, he was demoted. He wasn't fired, but it was suggested he might look for somewhere else to work, because this coach also has a big history of being very volatile on the field and bullying students and things like this. And there was an incident back at a previous district that was on the record, but apparently was not enough to discourage Collinsville from hiring him for their team, because he won a couple of state championships. So that is the priority put on when it comes to some of these coaches. It's championships over student safety.
Well, what's more important, Anderson, the safety of our students or baseball championships? And that's a rhetorical question. So obviously a joke.
Well, the press releases always say safety.
Right, you would think. But no, the school that he got in trouble for, according to your report here from 2019, was right around the corner from Buck Tussle. He was in White House ISD. That's also known as Patrick Mahomesville. But one of the complaints called this guy the biggest jerk in East Texas. So I guess I lost my title. All right, someone beat me out.
Right.
All right.
So I mean, this is the reputation that he has, but it did not discourage other districts from hiring him.
All right. So we just focus on the ones that are around here, but you had some stories about a teacher in the Houston area. There's another one in the San Antonio area. No one can escape this scourge here in Texas. And as long as you're doing some good reporting on it, we'll keep having you on the show. Thank you so much, Aaron Anderson, for helping us keep up with this. All right, you can check out her awesome reporting, TexasScorecard.com. It's one of the few places I don't mind getting a daily email from. So if you want to sign up for the Texas Minute, go to TexasScorecard.com, and you can have these horrifying stories sent right to your mailbox every morning. No, there's a lot of other good stuff in there as well. Okay, we're going to continue with the Memorial Day Spectacular on the James Show. 800-288-9227. I'm James Parker on News Talk 820 93.3 FM WBAP.
Here's a tale of Becky.
You're down.
Dude, with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, saved time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance. I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Spring is Rhino Shield season. James Parker here for Rhino Shield. You need to hurry up, call Rhino Shield, have them come out, put this space age coating on your house before it's 1,000 degrees outside. Oh, it'll save you some money on your heating and cooling. It has an insulation factor. It reflects UV rays, sticks to anything, 25-year warranty, and it just looks great. Mentioning the James Show will get you 20% off for Rhino Shield season. In addition to that big discount, you can finance Rhino Shield for up to 20 years. You can't even finance paint for a month. So you can go ahead and get Rhino Shield now. Start enjoying the benefits immediately, all in exchange for a super low monthly payment. Get it now. By the time summer rolls around, you'll be bragging to your brother-in-law about how much cheaper your energy bills are, how much more comfortable your house is because of Rhino Shield. Don't paint your house, coat your home. Go to rhinoshielddfw.com. rhinoshielddfw.com.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Here's Jim Dutton, host of Texas Home Improvement.
Make no bones about it. I repair a lot of foundations. And when you repair foundations, you're going to see a lot of cracks that need to be taken care of. Call Lone Star Masonry Repair. Let them come out, take care of all those cracks, the arches, the fireplace, everything. 817-709-6834. 817-709-6834. Online at LoneStarMasonryRepair.com.
Hello there, it's Pete Thompson from the Consumer Team. Before you retire, make sure you're really ready. Put your nest egg in the retirement simulator at DFW Retirement Planners. The Retirement Simulator will show you a new, more granular view of your retirement and identify possible danger zones that can be costly to you and your retirement. Call today to schedule this complimentary meeting. 888-7-PIGGY-BANK. 888-7-PIGGY-BANK. Online, DFWRetirementPlanners.com.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station.
Your Texas voice for common sense.
News Talk 820, WBAP.
And now, new on FM at 93.3. Trending now.
It's Operation Storm Watch with a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings for north central Texas. I'm Mike Trena from the 24-hour Breaking News Center.
ClassicChevrolet.com, WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
In Arlington, eastbound I-20 still shut down at Cooper Street due to an accident investigation. Traffic is backed up to right around Park Springs Boulevard, about a 35-40 minute delay. Heading westbound on I-30, traffic a little sluggish from Ballpark Way over to Fielder. Heavy traffic volume as you make your way to Cooks Lane. Westbound 183 from the 121 merge over to Loop 820. That's about a 10-minute drive. They cleared that high water on the eastbound side of 183 at Bedford-Euless Road. And in Mesquite, eastbound Highway 80, just before Galloway Avenue. Construction in the right lane, just the left lane is getting by. Found a 10-minute backup to Gus Thomason. With WBAP First Traffic and Weather on the Ones, I'm Dave Allen.
Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine, #1 Chevy dealership in the world, 3 years straight. More new Chevrolets to choose from than anyone. All priced to sell at ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023 through 2025.
Yeah, it's Operation Storm Watch from the WBAP On-Time Experts 24/7 Weather Center. The National Weather Service in Fort Worth has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for central Ellis County until 4:45 p.m. At 4:09 p.m., severe thunderstorm was located near Waxahachie, moving southeast at 25 miles per hour. It has 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail. People outside should move immediately to shelter inside a strong building. Again, the National Weather Service in Fort Worth issuing a severe thunderstorm warning for central Ellis County until 4:45 p.m. Otherwise, tonight, mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming clear with a low around 69. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high near 87. Tomorrow night, cloudy with showers and thunderstorms likely. Rainfall between 1/4 to 1/2 inch. and low around 70. It's 84 degrees in Dallas and 83 in Fort Worth. News brought to you by Mullen & Mullen Injury Law Firm. President Trump promises a deal with Iran and to address its nuclear program, claiming it will be stronger than the nuclear deal negotiated under the Obama administration. Jeff Paul in Dubai with details.
The framework is said to be 90 to 95% complete. Iran would reportedly give up its stockpile of enriched uranium, stop enriching it, and help reopen the strait, and agree to broader regional ceasefire. In exchange, Iran would get sanction relief, a gradual easing of the U.S. blockade, and broader economic normalization. Now, President Trump also says that if they do get this deal between the U.S. and Iran across the line, that he would like to see more countries sign up for the Abraham Accords.
Texas Republican Senator Ted Cruz, in a post on X, said it would be a disastrous mistake if Iran is allowed to enrich uranium and control the Strait of Hormuz. Your money news brought to you by NetWorthRadio.com. A self-driving taxi company is pumping its brakes in 2 cities.
Waymo is suspending its service in both Atlanta and San Antonio after its driverless taxis found themselves stuck in flooded roadways. Waymo is recalling those cars and is issuing a software update that is intended to help the autonomous cars avoid flooded streets, but admits it is not yet close to a lasting remedy for the problem. Eben Brown, Fox News.
Stock market closed today due to Memorial Day. I'm Mike Traina. Keep connected DFW for the latest on the war in Iran. For updates anytime, go to WBAP.com or on our free mobile app and start your weekday with WBAP's Morning News. News, traffic, weather, and some laughs weekdays 5 till 9 on News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
Brought to you by WoodyWoodsPlumbing.com.
Plumbing problems can be stressful. Since 1954, Woody Woods Plumbing has ensured their customers expert service, no hidden fees, and honest upfront pricing. Go to woodywoods.com, serving all of DFW.
Call Woody Woods Plumbing today.
Licensed and background check.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green. Don't waste another weekend doing your lawn care yourself. Partner with the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour and get a golf course quality lawn the easy way. Sign up at truegreen.com. Then sit back and relax.
Remember today, you listened to News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM, WBAP.
You're up.
All right, be careful with the weather here on Memorial Day. I'm James Parker, News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. I'm glad Brad Barton broke in because I'm broadcasting from home out here in Bug Tussle today, and it's kind of nice out here. We still have a few clouds, but we didn't get any rain. We don't have any lightning. It doesn't look that ominous. And then I look at the radar after Brad Barton says we got to cut in for some severe weather. I'm like, what are you talking about, severe weather? And then I looked and I was like, oh my goodness gracious, they're really getting it over in Tarrant County right now. And so I went to WBAP.com and I pulled up the animated radar. And here's where I felt enough concern that I thought maybe I should talk about this on the show. It's not moving very fast at all. Over the course of this, what is this, like a 20-minute animation? It didn't really move. I can't even really tell which direction it's going or coming from. All of it. So it's if you're getting a lot of rain right now, you might be getting it for a while. And the concentration seems to be sort of in the northeast corridor of Fort Worth, where 820 bends around and meets the mid-cities. If you draw a diagonal line down there, like almost at a 45-degree angle south and east, that is where the most concentrated versions of the radar are. And when I say concentrated, I mean there's the green, the red, the yellow, the orange, the red. Well, this is in the purple and white. So that's happening. And that diagonal angle, like if you were going to draw from northeast Fort Worth, kind of like the epicenter for that would be like 820 and Beach Street. Draw a diagonal line southeast down to about Midlothian-ish through Waxahachie and kind of, what is that right there? I guess Italy is right there. That's kind of where it starts. Now I'm over here a couple counties east of the Metroplex and Bug Tussle. We got nothing. We got a little bit of showers between Kaufman and Athens, but that's about it. And so, guys, if you're getting bad weather, expect it to be there for a while because there's not a whole lot of relief coming soon. You folks in South Denton are getting a pretty good supercell there. And there's a couple other big isolated spots, but we'll just keep it here. You're on WBAP as it is. we'll keep doing the regular news updates as the severe storm warnings come down. Just remember us. All right, next up. This is kind of a Memorial Day topic. These people that talk about, you should give up drinking because it's more healthy. I don't have a good argument against the fact that it's more healthy. Of course, it's more healthy to not drink. It's also more healthy to not eat candy, but I'm still going to do that for every once in a while. It's still more healthy to not have Dr. Pepper Zero, but I'm still going to do that because I realize I trade off the perfection of nutrition for a treat every once in a while. And I think alcohol is sort of the same way. And I also think the backlash against alcohol has gone too far. You see a lot of these people saying just crazy things about, well, I was drinking, and then when I quit, I lost all this weight and I got in better shape and I was in a better mood and my cortisol levels changed and I got off prescription medicines. And so, dude, how much were you drinking that your life improved so much? But this next one, Steve Bartlett. This can't be true. He says he gave up drinking, and then when he tried to go back and have a few glasses of wine one night, it wrecked him for 3 days. No. No, maybe you're just a sissy here. Go read, like in history, it's amazing how much people drank for most of medieval European history up until sort of this more Puritan movement that was kind of around when the founding fathers happened. Like, if you were in the Roman Republic or if you were some guy that was or some student in France in 1830, like the Les Miserables times, you were drinking wine as a child. What are these people talking about? Look, I know it's not good for you and it has bad effects, and especially it could be abused and it's caused all kinds of problems. But if a couple glasses of wine knocks you out for 3 days, something's wrong with you. And so, no, Steve Bartlett, I have found my boundary on people waving their finger about drinking alcohol. I'm more in the Bert Kreischer camp. Are you familiar with the comedian Bert Kreischer? Because his motto when it comes to drinking is a little more closely aligned with mine. I thought that was Memorial Day appropriate because I have a feeling some of the people listening right now might be day drinking. I see you, and I'm jealous. 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. We're going to have to get you a weather update coming up next on The James Show. It's News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP.
Here's what we're talking.
You're down.
The president knocking down reports out there that Iran's supreme leader is demanding that the enriched uranium in that country stay in that country as part of any sort of a nuclear agreement.
We want it open. We want it free. We don't want tolls. It's international.
Stay connected for updates all day.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
just returned from holiday vacation, and there it is, a letter from the IRS. You don't even want to open it. I'm tax attorney Jamie Flores. Don't let the IRS disrupt your life. The law offices of Namath and Flores can help get your life back to normal. So call us right now.
I'm Dallas tax attorney Nick Namath. You've heard me for over 25 years on the radio helping Texans resolve their IRS issues. National tax resolution companies with 1-800 numbers do a lot of talking when it comes to these problems, but when you have the IRS coming after you, it's a serious legal matter that deserves the attention of an experienced tax attorney.
At the law offices of Namath and Flores, we focus specifically on helping people like you resolve IRS wage levies, bank levies, and even unfiled returns. The first visit is completely free and confidential, and we'll let you know on the spot exactly how much it's going to cost you. IRS problems don't go away on their own, so quit losing sleep over possible jail time and call the law offices of Namath and Flores at 972-484-0829 or go to myiRSteam.com. Offices in Dallas, Fort Worth, and Frisco.
In phony TV ads, Mays Middleton says he's mega, but he's got no experience in a courtroom, just a family trust fund and a new red hat. Mays isn't mega. He's the guy who sponsored a bill allowing mosques to build their own housing developments. Middleton admitted his bill, quotes, empowers mosques to use their land for housing development, paving the way for Sharia cities in Texas. To Islamic radicals, Mays is Mecca, not MAGA. The real Trump conservative?
Chip Roy running for office? I'm Chip Roy, and I'll always shoot you straight. My opponent's trying to fool you, using his trust fund to bankroll lies. It's a bunch of bull. You're doing a good job, Chip. Yeah, I drive a hard bargain.
He's not easy, but he's good.
Because I do what's right for Texas. The Austin Swamp wants a puppet, but with illegals, criminals, and Sharia law on our doorstep, Texas needs a fighter for Attorney General. I'm Chip Roy, and I approve this message.
Political advertising paid for by Texans for Chip Roy.
When you fight cancer with Texas Oncology, the nation's leading team of cancer experts is yours. Shaped by the collective experience of hundreds of oncologists, surgeons, and support staff. By access to the latest clinical trials, leading-edge technology, and advanced treatment options like precision medicine. And driven by our commitment to innovation. Every patient we've treated plays a part in making us the leader in fighting your cancer. Texas Oncology, for tomorrow's cancer breakthroughs today.
Hey, we've had a number of hailstorms this spring. Hi, meteorologist Brad Barton for Old Pro Roofing. Now, if you don't have any leaks, that's great, but you might still have some hail damage, and you probably want to know that. Let me recommend Old Pro Roofing. They've roofed thousands of homes across North Texas. Even if there's no hail damage visible from the ground, let Old Pro take a look at it. No pressure. If there is any damage, they'll document it and walk you through the entire insurance process. It's real easy. If you need a new roof, trust your home to an Old Pro. The number 817-929-ROOF. OldProRoofing.com.
At Genesis of Plano, part of the Huffines Auto family, we're committed to doing things the right way. With clear, upfront pricing, no unwanted dealer addendums, and over 100 years serving North Texas. Our vehicles are engineered to inspire exploration, pushing the boundaries of what luxury can be. And our dealership delivers an experience defined by comfort, intention, and elevated detail. Visit Genesis of Plano today and discover a higher standard of luxury, totally on your terms.
Does today's stock market volatility have you worried? Claim your free portfolio protection review from Ryan Cowley of the Cowley Financial Group today. Markets do not always rise, and if you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s, you don't have the same time to make up for portfolio losses as you did in your 30s or 40s. So call 888-542-5211.
Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, LLC, BWA, a registered investment advisor and an affiliate of Brookstone Capital Management, LLC. BWA and Cowley Financial Group are independent of each other.
Eastbound I-20 in Arlington still shut down between Cooper Street and Matlock due to an accident investigation. A 35 to 40 minute backup to Park Springs Boulevard. Heading eastbound on I-30 from East Loop 820 over to Highway 360. That'll take you almost 20 minutes. Still have roadwork heading into downtown Dallas on northbound I-35E. This is on the ramp to eastbound I-30. The left lane is closed, just the right lane is getting by. And in Mesquite on eastbound Highway 80, approaching Galloway Avenue, you're down to just the left lane getting by due to roadwork. About a 10-minute backup to Gus Thomason. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Dave Allen.
Brought to you by Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today to Cars for Kids. It's Cars with a K. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to get your donation started. It's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
You're up.
Happy Memorial Day. It's the James Show. News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. You're going to want to keep it here. This is the last segment of the show, but don't turn it when I'm done. If nothing else, just for the weather. It's bad. Well, right where I'm at, out in Bug Tussle, it's nothing. But where the places it's bad, it's really bad. And we have some severe thunderstorm warnings and whatnot going on. Now, the supercell that was stretching from northeast Fort Worth down south to Midlothian through Italy and kind of tracing I-45 on its way to Houston for a couple of hours if you were driving it. The northern part of that seems to be dissipating. Like it's gotten bigger but less strong. And the real damaging part here that has the scary box around it on the map is this area that's Midlothian, Italy, Waxahachie, kind of scooting over toward Ennis a little bit. So you guys are getting it real bad. And if you go further south, I guess down there by, what is that, Fairfield? Just a little bit west of Fairfield off I-45. And then there's some storms that are down by Marlin, Waco, west of Waco. There's the whole mess going on. So if you're in the bad weather, just keep it right here and we'll walk you through it. All right. So Memorial Day. There's a lot that people are debating back and forth on whether or not it's worth sacrificing. And I really even hate seeing that because it feels like this weird sort of self-deprecation to where, all these other people come from noble countries that you're not allowed to say anything bad about. Like, remember when he called Haiti a S-hole country and people from Haiti for eating the dogs and the cats? They're like, how dare you talk about people like that? That is so awful and dehumanizing and racist and evil and literally Hitler. Well, what about America? Oh, America sucks. Terrible place. Racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe. Oh, but so it's bad to say that about Haiti, but not about the United States. So this is I think it's got to be a confusing time for the America haters, because it's always a tough argument. If you're an America hater, how do you make that argument? How do you make the argument that America is awful? Oh yeah, well, it's racist. Oh really? Seems to be like the least racist country on the planet. Well, what evidence do you have? And so when you look at the media try and scramble and convince people of the narrative that America is terrible and not worth defending, you need to change it. What do they say? Well, there were some white guys who did a Nazi salute at the Stars game in December. Isn't that bad? Okay, so that's the worst you have of white on black antipathy. Because if you're looking for the opposite, you get a lot more stories and they're a little more harrowing. Did you hear the story out of Charlotte this weekend? Some poor lady. She's a young adult. She looks like, I don't know, 19, I think is what she was. But she had already moved out and gotten her apartment, and she was dating some guy. And the guy moved in with her. I don't know how voluntary it was, because he ended up tying her to the bed with toe straps and then keeping her there for months, basically torturing her. And eventually he goes to the corner store, and I think it was a 7-Eleven. So he's at the gas station on the corner, and he comes up to cops. He's like, hey, I have an emergency. And they're like, well, how can we help you, sir? He's like, well, my girlfriend stopped breathing. Well, and they go to his apartment. She's tied to the bed with toe straps. It's like, what do you mean she stopped breathing? Well, yeah, I was having sex with her and she stopped breathing. Wait a second. How long she's been tied to this bed? Months. So you've had this girl tied to this bed and you just do her whenever you want. And they ran some exams on her. She had some broken bones. She had been malnourished. And so apparently this guy just decided he was going to take a chick, tie her up to the bed. I mean, feed her, give her water or whatever, go to the bathroom. Well, we'll take care of all that, but then I'll just use her as my little slave in the meantime. And whenever I get the urge, she'll be there to take care of it. That was a black on white crime. Yeah. That is a little worse than what could be perceived as a Nazi salute, as a racial gesture 5 months ago in the American Airlines Center. But somehow that made your news. That made your news. But the story out of Charlotte, did you hear that yet, or did you just hear it the first time from me? See, because white on black crime, or even white on non-white crime, you get a mural in Oak Cliff. If you're the illegal immigrants that were shot by the Antifa activists who hated ICE, you get a mural. If you're a black guy who gets shot by a white woman and it's an accident, it's manslaughter, but very sloppy, very ugly, terrible tragedy story, you get a road named after you in downtown Dallas, right on the police station road. There's going to be an exit sign on I-30 for everyone to see. Anybody going to name a road after this girl? You don't even know her name. Her name's Isabella Stroop. But tell me if you hear that name over the next week. And if it doesn't, it should make you sick. All right, that's going to about do it for the James Show on this Memorial Day spectacular. Look, whether you're at work on a normal work day or if you're actually taking some time off, remember the reason we have the day off. There's a lot of people who had an empty chair at their Christmas so you could have the day off. And that's what this is all about. All the people who lost their lives for the greatest experiment in human history, the United States of America. May they never be forgotten. Stay put. Coming up next is the Mark Levin Show. I bet you there's a greater than zero chance he has a fill-in of some sort, but it will be the Mark Levin Show. And if you're not normally listening at this time, come back and try and make it part of your regular routine. I'm on from 2 to 5 in the afternoons on weekdays. And if you have to work, that's all right. You have a real job, doesn't fit in your schedule. Check out the podcast. You can listen to it time shifted on demand whenever you want, wherever you already listen to podcasts. Even that little app on your iPhone that says podcast, you can find it there. I'm James Parker. This has been The James Show on News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.
The Good Contractor.
You're down.
Hundreds of fully.
All right, I'll write a promo and
now all back
we'll record
by
in a sec.
25,000 guarantee.
If the job's not right, we'll get it fixed. Only at the Good Contractors list.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes